Are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be anywhere, almost anywhere on these interwebs, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we have the New York City shooting. The guy said he had some type of traumatic brain injury, blaming the NFL. There's all kind of stuff going on with that. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Leno is schooling a lot of the late night hosts about how to run a late night show. Maybe we don't want all of your virtue signaling. Maybe we don't want all the political stuff. We might just want a good, easy time. We'll talk about that a little bit more as well. Also, Shannon Sharpe, good grief, got fired from ESPN after he settled the lawsuit from the woman who accused him of assaulting her. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Gilbert Arenas, former NBA basketball player and host of the very popular Gil's Arena podcast on YouTube, got arrested for allegedly running an illegal, almost an illegal gambling operation with an alleged illegal alien who is supposedly an Israeli organized crime member. We'll talk about all that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Cincinnati Brawl that went viral. People are kind of upset because the guy got out of jail for like a $400 bond. It wasn't really a big deal. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Plus, we got quite a few clips. We got quite a few things to discuss, all in tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a lot going on here. There's a lot going on, but Shannon, I want to just say something about Shannon right now. I just want to talk a little bit right now. It's on my mind. I want to get it off my chest. Shannon Sharpe, you had the whole world in your hands, bro. You had everything going right for you. You had Club Shay Shay. You have the Cat Williams interview. From that one interview, allegedly you made like what, $7 million from one interview. $7 million. All that gone. But they say, what's the old proverb of fooling their money soon shall part? That's what happened here. Everything was going for you. You had an illustrious Hall of Fame NFL career. Then you transition into broadcast and you do well there. You have your own thing. You got Club Shay Shay. You have Nightcap. You're on ESPN right next to Stephen A. Smith, who, in my opinion, is the biggest TV star on TV. Who's bigger than Stephen A. Smith on TV? Nobody. You're right next to him, and that's your friend. What do, Shannon? You are mistreating young white girls. Like, are you dumb? It don't matter what color they are, to be totally clear. But this is a tale as old as time. It's a tale as old as time. You would think that you would have learned something in your 57 years of living to not operate like this. You can't do stuff like this. Listen, when you want to get that big bag from Disney, because be clear, ESPN is a Disney company. Bob Iger is the big boss. When you're dealing with Disney, they don't want to have any kind of, what they like, off the court. Jonathan Majors came before you. He was a cautionary tale. And Jonathan Majors wasn't even as bad as what you were doing. What you did, Shannon, you had a sugar baby and you were treating her like garbage. What Jonathan Majors did is he had a girlfriend and they had a minor altercation in which he was trying to run away from it. He was trying to get away. Runaway slave activity, trying to get away from that because he knew that it would get him in trouble. And what happened to him because of that, his whole career came tumbling down. And thank God for making good to come save the day. Thank God for her, because without her, where would Jonathan Majors be? Cain the Conqueror, all of that gone because you and this young lady over here squabbling. White woman, another one. Why? That it was already a cautionary tale. And again, the color don't matter, but there's a pattern. There's a pattern. And then when people see the pattern, they're like, another one, this guy. Why do you want to put so much money behind a guy like Shannon if he's going to behave like that? Especially when you had another guy who was just as big and black as Shannon doing the exact same thing. Now it becomes racism. Now it becomes, this is what you guys do. You can't control yourself. You and the white women, you go crazy. So it's just too much embarrassment, too much stuff. And then also, Shannon, you had a warning. God gave you a warning. Remember the whole thing with the sex tape? Remember that? When you accidentally, quote unquote, went live. And I think he probably did it on purpose to quell the gay rumors. You doing that to quell the gay rumors, but now that's embarrassing for Disney. Disney does not want guys that got OnlyFans and stuff like this to represent their company. Guys do not want guys who have OnlyFans and stuff like that to represent their company. Disney does not want that. They say, you know what? We're going to go ahead and cut ties with you because you're not going to make us money. You want to get Joe Rogan money, you got to behave properly off the actual podcast mic. You got to behave properly off of the football field. Whatever you're doing, you got to behave properly, because if you're not, why am I giving you $300 million? For what? To embarrass us? To get calls from concerned parents talking about this guy does not line up with Disney? To have people who go to Disney asking about Shannon Sharpe? No, you can't do that. And Gilbert Arenas, you always destroy your own career. You always block your own blessings. Gilbert Arenas in 2009 got caught with some guns. Let me tell you what happened in 2009. I'm going to just talk a little bit. Y'all, please pardon me. Please pardon me. Gilbert Arenas was an amazing basketball. I saw Gilbert play in 2009 before the gun incident. They were playing the Timberwolves when they had Kevin Garnett. Gilbert was so fast, like a blur on the court. Nobody could stop him. He was just going straight to the bucket with layups. KG couldn't do nothing with him. Wally Zerbiak, all these guys, they couldn't lay a finger on Gilbert Arenas back then. Unstoppable. I saw it in person in DC with my own two eyes. I saw him play. He was amazing. But he is just so silly and so childlike that he gets in trouble. Here's what happened. So him and the teammate, and by the way, this story is on Netflix. On the story, it's hold on, can I pull it up right quick? It's on Netflix. It's called Untold Shooting Guards, literally, because that's what they played. Well, that's what Gil played, especially, and they had guns in the locker room. But anyway, they on a plane playing Boo-Ray. If you guys know what that is, Boo-Ray. Some card game from Louisiana. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. I think it's spelled Booray. If y'all know about that, y'all let me know in the comments. They're gambling. That's right, NERN. They're gambling on the plane, playing Boo-Ray, and they get the trash talking. The trash talking intensifies because Gil likes to trash talk. He likes to get up under your skin. At the end of the trash talk, Gil's like, I set the car on fire. I set the car on fire. And Javar says, whoa, I'll shoot you. It's just talking. But what Gil does is he brings guns. I think he had 2 guns. He brought them to the locker room in D.C., put them on Javar's seat at his locker, and left a note that said, you pick one. Pick which one you want. So now Javaris is like a street dude. Gil is from California, L.A., like to play a lot. One of the California black guys, not really serious. So here comes Javaris, like a real street dude from Atlanta, I believe. He don't know how to take it. What winds up happening is they pull guns on each other in the locker room. The feds get involved because you're in D.C., and the local police get involved. He was able to, I think, plead out of that, so it wasn't really no big deal. I don't think he went to jail, although his career was never the same after that. Javaris Crittenton never played again, and he wound up going to the penitentiary for 10 years for manslaughter years later. That happened in 2009 with the gun. He gets locked up in 2011. So it might have been a year or two after he stopped playing, he winds up going to the penitentiary. Maybe Javaris wouldn't have gone to the penitentiary if Gilbert did not ruin his NBA career. Gilbert been messing up. And it was because of gambling that started the whole gun incident. You would think that after that many years, you wouldn't be messing around with gambling or guns no more, but here we are. Bro, so what Gil did now, allegedly, is rent his mansion out in Encino, San Fernando Valley, Los Angeles. He rented it out to an Israeli gangster. I swear, look, if I'm lying, strike me down right now. A suspected member of an Israeli organized crime ring. So the guy had his friends, who I think were also Israeli, in Gil's house playing these illegal poker games. And I think the way they caught him is because the guy, the Israeli, was here illegally and he was trying to commit marriage fraud to stay in the United States. So they're going to investigate him. Okay, you're here illegally. We're cracking down on illegal immigration and you're committing crime. Criminal alien. So you're going to be a high priority. Oh, what we got going on here? Y'all over there gambling? What's happening at these games? You got girls in there giving massages. What else are they doing? Is there any kind of... So that was going on inside the house. Some say, well, why is that illegal? I didn't know it was illegal. He knows it's illegal because, first of all, you already been in trouble with the law because of gambling, because of the gun incident, and your sponsor is Underdog Fantasy, which is basically gambling. I'm not really up on sports betting and fantasy, basketball, football, whatever, but that's all gambling, right? If I'm wrong, y'all let me know. So check it out. When you get your ad copy, your script to read the ad, they're going to send you an email with it that also says, don't say this, don't say that, don't say that, because we are teetering on the edge of legality. So if we say something that's kind of illegal when it comes to gambling, we could be in trouble. You could be in trouble. So with that background, going back to 2009, you playing Boo-Ray, a card game, gambling on a plane. Now, 2025, you have Underdog Fantasy, which is gambling. That's your sponsor. Presented by Underdog Fantasy. All of that. You do all that. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. And it was underground. Y'all talk about everything on that podcast, but never one time I've ever heard a peep about them games because you know it's illegal. Each count, and I think he got 3 counts. Each count carries 5 years max in the penitentiary. So, hey, man, it's unfortunate that Gil has to go through this and Shannon, but especially Gil, bro, you know better. Shannon knows better as well, but Gil, you already been in trouble for gambling. You already been in trouble. What are you doing? You have a gambling website as your main sponsor. They sponsor the whole show. They're going to tell you what to say, what not to say, what to do, what not to do, so you don't get locked up. And then here's something else. If you're going to have a business in your house, to anybody listening, if you're going to run a business inside of your house, you need to tell the city, you got to tell your accountant, you got to tell everybody because they will come after you. I got a brief story, then I'm going to get to some more stuff. Brief story. So back right around that same time when Gil got locked up for the pistol or got in trouble for the pistol in 2009, right around that same time, maybe a little bit later, a lot of guys that I know were getting jammed up for drugs. At the time, I'm just a graphic designer. I'm doing club flyers and stuff for restaurants, clubs, whatever. A lot of these guys started these clubs with drug money. I don't know nothing about that. I'm just doing your flyer. Okay, you got you got I don't know, Pretty Girl Fridays, 11 o'clock, no white t-shirts. That's what I'm here for. I don't know all your personal stuff. But once these guys start getting locked up, all of a sudden, me and Batman, shout out to Batman if you're watching, we're getting letters from the city. We both got a tax audit from the local government. And in the audit, well, it was a letter with an audit. And then it was a letter that went with it. And it said, give us a call. So I call City Hall. Ring, ring. And the girl on the other end, I tell her my name, what's going on, about my letter, my case number, whatever it is. I tell her that. And then I could tell she knew what was actually happening. What she say to me? She was like, what are you doing? And I could tell when she said that, basically, she was trying to see if I'm involved in any kind of illegal activity. The city, they're investigating. The police are investigating the people that I'm around. They see me pull up to, so put it to you like this. I pull up to a restaurant with a plain brown box. I go inside and I get money. And you got somebody watching the restaurant seeing this whole thing play out. What is he doing? Is he selling drugs? Is he like a real vendor? What's happening? So now, okay, boom, tax audit. Caught a number. What are you doing? If I cannot explain myself, I might have got locked up too. You see what I'm saying? See how that works? So it's not about somebody telling on the guy that had the game. It's not about that. It's about the feds are probably investigating the illegal alien from Israel, the mob guy, the Israeli mobster. They were investigating him, and they're seeing him go to your house. So then they are able to see what happens inside of your house. Oh, okay, we got some illegal gambling going on. Oh, okay, what are they doing at these games? They got girls in there. They got all kind of extra stuff. Are they betting things? Are they passing drugs? Like, what's going on? So they saw him before he knew that they saw him. And then when the feds came to him, say, hey, what's going on, bro? The same call I got. What are you doing? What does he do? Lie. Okay, bro, we already know what you're doing. You might as well be honest. The lying is just another charge. And you might get 5 years on top of your other charges for that. So, yeah, man, I mean, guys got to just move smart. That goes to anybody, man. I don't care who you are. You could be rich, famous, whatever, regular normie. You got to move smart. You can't be out here doing stuff like that. Gilbert Arenas, Shannon Sharpe, you got to move smart. That would be what I say for sure. Yeah, I mean, and I done already been through it. And the thing about it is, Gil is like 43 years old. Shannon, 57 years old. I'm younger than both of them, but I got more sense than both of them. It's a mess. And you know what? This right here is why a lot of guys are not really suited to have money. Because with money comes responsibility. If you're on a low level with it, as far as, okay, you got a podcast and it's not really big, you could kind of do things and get away with it. But once you get to a certain level, it's certain kind of visibility. You have a mansion in Encino, a mansion. They're going to watch like a hawk. Any kind of illegal activity, they're going to see it. They're going to see it. You're not low. You're as visible as possible. It's so crazy that Gilbert, It's so crazy that Gilbert had a custom made poker table with his name on it. with his name on it. So, I mean, you're not even you're trying to hide it, but at the same time, you are obvious with it. All they got to do is just bring one informant into your fold and they'll take a picture of it, and then that'll be evidence. See, look, okay, they got it right there in the indictment. On November 20th, 2021, defendant Arenas texted defendant Katz a picture. That's one of the guys that did the games. A picture of a gold trim poker table with the words Arenas Poker Club printed on top of the table, and the image of a basketball player with a jersey labeled Arenas wearing the number 0. So it's him. He put his own jersey, his own likeness, and his own name on the table and sent it to the guy who is doing the illegal poker games. So, of course, they're going to subpoena that. Your phone records, they're going to go to whatever company you got. You got Verizon Wireless. They're going to go subpoena them, get the text, and put it right in the indictment. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. The feds can't do that. The only thing the feds can't do is get your FaceTimes because it's end-to-end encrypted. But a SMS text message, bro, they got that. They got that. Exactly, JV genius. Exactly. It's crazy. Richard says, you got to learn how to fly underneath that radar. Oh, and keep your hind parts off social media. Really, if you're doing dirt. Exactly. You got this big, crazy mansion right there in Encino, in Los Angeles, highly visible. Your podcast is also run from that mansion. People know where you live at. So people are going to watch you. You got neighbors that may be kind of close by down the road or whatever. They're going to see high traffic. And don't start smoking weed. Don't have no weed smoke waft down the actual driveway into the neighbors' homes. That's going to make you be even bigger target. But hey, what do I know? I don't know nothing. Robert says all these players getting into gambling issues, big stakes poker games, nothing new. Some so loose to rat you out. Nobody told. It's not even about telling. It's about they were investigating the Israeli guy because he had some issues, and they found the poker game as a result. So be careful of the company you keep. Be very careful of the company you keep because it could spell doom for you. It could spell doom. Hold on. Denisha said Shannon Sharpe should know better, especially after blowing up at that Cat Williams interview. He said all will be revealed. Hey, he sure did. Cat said all be revealed. All be revealed. And here we are. Shannon got to be really upset because he still got fired, although he went ahead and settled the actual case. Because the thought process was probably, I'm gonna settle this right now during the off season before football comes back. So it'll all be over with. It'll all be done. And then I go back to ESPN come football time. They said, nah, it would have been all right if Shannon was worth it. They don't think that his value added to ESPN is worth the off the camera drama. It's not worth it. Stephen A. Smith, however, is great. He doesn't do any kind of off the field drama. He brings his daughter and his nephew on, and they're adorable. Everybody loves them. Stephen A. Smith does it right. Shannon does not. Okay? That's what that is. Now, I don't think it was 123 million, Robert. I don't think it was that much. It probably like 23 million, not 123 million. All right. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Should listen to Monique. But Shannon, the problem with guys, let me tell you something about Shannon and Gil and guys like that, other guys that are not Shannon and Gil. The very thing that makes them successful is also what makes them controversial and tumble and fumble the bag. It's the same energy that Shannon puts behind his work. That's what he puts behind them young WWs. Same thing with Gil. The same energy he puts behind the podcast and being great on the field is also what he puts behind being a moron. Just doing things that don't make any sense. Doing things that just kind of boggle the mind. All right. Robert says he lost 100 from his ESPN contract. Tina says Stephen A. is a screamer and fast talker too. Oh, I'm a fast talker. That's good though. People like fast talking. People watch videos on like 10x speed. How about I just talk at 10x speed? How about that? So you don't even gotta do all that. See, I'm doing you a favor. I value your time, so I'm trying to get to the point quick and talk quick and watch many pauses or nothing like that. Let me just go, and then I'm not just talking fast for no reason. I give you a bunch of information in a very short period of time. And I give you the caption so you're able to read along. So that's my strategy right there. But shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. We got a lot to talk about, though. The New York City shooting with the guy. Talking about he had CTE. We got a lot. What else? The Cincinnati situation. So before I move on, the Cincinnati thing, I'm going to ask all about that, and then we're going to show it. Have you guys seen the viral video of the brawl in Cincinnati? And what do you think about the current state of the case? I think one of the guys who knocked somebody out, got out on bail for like $400. What do y'all think? Before we get to it, because I'll get to that a little bit later. What I think is that this case was not that big of a deal and got blown up by influencers. So when they blew it up, people thought that it was a bigger deal than what it was. Okay, there's plenty of incidents that happen that you don't know about. Just like in Atlanta, there was a mass shooting over the weekend. The same time this happened in Cincinnati, right around that same time, there was a mass shooting in Atlanta. 10 shot, I think 1 died, maybe 2 died. Did anybody die in a Cincinnati situation? So why am I hearing about Cincinnati and not the Atlanta mass shooting in which 10 people were shot? And it was a similar circumstance at night outside of bars. Same thing. But one, because you got black on white, male on female, punch, knockout, black eye, that goes viral. But when 10 people get shot and somebody dies, it's whatever. Ain't no big deal, right? I didn't cover either one. I covered the one with the guy, the NFL guy, and that still wasn't a lot of interest on that one. Okay. Yeah, the thing about it is bar fights always happen. Outside of clubs, bars, they always happen. Like back in my club days, I would not stay around to the very end because that's when people start to shoot outside. That's when they want to fight. And also, I would go to places where they wouldn't do that anyway. Some places they're known for having a little bit of a rougher crowd. I don't like, and I'm not a drinker. I don't get drunk or nothing like that. So I don't like being around other drunk people. Drunk people always want to fight me for some reason. I'll tell you, you know what? Not all drunks want to fight me. Some drunks want to talk me to death, give me the whole life story. I'm going to tell you who loves to actually fight me when they're drunk. White guys that's like 5'8" or so and kind of fat, looking like Chris Farley, but not quite like Chris Farley. Like they might have played football or something in college, but didn't keep up with the conditioning. Am I making sense here? They always want to kind of like do something to me. And it's like, man, listen, if I beat you up right now, I'm going to get in trouble because you're drunk. I'm going to be the bad guy because you're drunk. So I try to avoid anywhere where 5'8" fat white guys are going to be drinking beer because they can't help it. They cannot help it. I mean, bro, I will talk to you when you're sober. Chris, hey, Chris, I'm going to talk to you when you're sober. All right, Matt, I'm going to talk to you when you're sober, Matt. Just go over there for right now, all right? I'm chilling. Hey, Eugene Speaker says ABL callers. Hey, when they get to drinking, that's when their I want to fight you mentality comes in. For no reason at all. I'm just minding my business, chilling. All of a sudden, here come white guy up on me. I was like, anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, before we get to the videos for today, shout out to you guys for being the best audience anywhere on these internets and the very first sponsor of the show. Shout out to my other sponsors, PatriotPost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will be in the description, or just go to PatriotPost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY. That letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and for each video, long video that I produce, I write an article, and in each article, we got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the politically agnostic, Democratic, Republican, whatever you want, I got it. As long as it's legal, it'll be right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail mail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, it's not me. Don't get scammed. It's 2025. Don't nobody got no time for that. Whether it be from the Indian subcontinent, whether it be from Nigeria. And by the way, speaking about Nigeria, so on Instagram, I can go look and see where my views are coming from. And the top country, of course, USA. Then it's Canada, Australia, those. At number 5 is Nigeria. So shout out to the Nigerians watching me. I ain't one of you now. So yeah, watch me because I ain't one of you. Honestly, I am. That's why you watching me. So shout out to the Nigerians. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. But we got a whole lot going on. And, back to the whole drunk thing. Yeah, man, them drunk guys, I can't do nothing with it. Sixum says, did I hear about the situation in Danville? I have no idea. None whatsoever. Okay. Richard says, I stopped going to the bar scene a long time ago. And if you want to fight a lot, just go to the Waffle House. Basically the same thing. Yeah, I don't go there either. I don't go to the Waffle House at a certain time of the night at a certain part of the actual city. I don't go there either. No, that ain't what I do at all. All right, but let me keep on rocking here. Mauricio says 5'8" is very average height. Hey man, 5'8", like because I'm 6'2", 6'3", so they're never like the tall white guys. Them they cool. It be the It's two conditions Name me 3 conditions for the white guy that wanted to fight you at the bar. They wanted to fight me at the bar. 5'8" or under, fat, but like he might have been athletic at one point in recent life. You're 28 years old. You play high school football, and you've not really played football since you've been like 19. That kind of build right there. You're eating a lot of food. You working at a warehouse or something like this. That kind of fat white guy. And so 5'8", white, fat, drunk. Them guys right there, I avoid like the plague. Anyway, we got a few good things here. We got some news. We got some news on the GDP. Some news on the GDP. We're getting money. We're getting things back together the way they're supposed to be. All right. Do I have sound or not? What's going on? Okay. Here we go. Good old technology. I wonder if AI will make my sound always work the proper way it's supposed to work. I doubt it. I all the way doubt it. Y'all give me a second, please. All right, there we go. It was the same thing. I was muted. But it didn't show the icon. All right, back to the GDP report, shall we?
Well, we've got a stronger than expected GDP number, 3% for the second quarter initial read. That's up from a 0.5% in the first quarter. 2.6% was what was forecast. Now, well, we've got a stronger than expected GDP number, 3% for the second quarter initial read. That's up from a 0.5% in the.
So we're getting good numbers. They said it was supposed to be 2.6, but it's really 3. So we're recovering faster than they anticipated. That's always a good thing. All right. And then what was my next one here? Okay. Now here's Bill Maher talking about the tariffs and how he was wrong.
Tariff.
And that's been a real thing. That's been a really big thing that the left talk about. Oh, tariff this, tariff that. The tariffs are killing us. Are tellers killing us? Listen, there may be some higher prices in some places, but overall, it is a good thing. Because you got to bring jobs back, first of all, and you have to maintain the health of the country. It's not worth it to spend 10 cents less on an item if the entire country is ruined as a result. That's not a very good trade-off. 10 cents more on an item, your country is sustainable. There's jobs for people. 10 cents less is not sustainable. You head towards a crash, and there's no jobs.
Tariffs. Now, I remember along with probably most people, was saying at the beginning, oh, by the 4th of July, somebody had to think how the the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me. But that didn't happen. Now, it could happen tomorrow. I'm just saying. Yeah. That's reality. So let's work first from the reality of that, not from I just hate Donald Trump.
Yeah. This right here, I think that's Brian Tyler Cohen. Is that him? He has a YouTube channel. He's like a really big left-wing YouTuber, I suppose.
That's boring and doesn't get us anywhere and leads you to dishonesty because the truth is, I don't know what his strategy is. But look, the stock market is at record highs. I know not everybody lives by the stock market, but I also drive around. I don't see a country in a depression at all. I see people out there just living their lives. And I would have thought, and I got to own it, that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time. And they didn't.
There you go. So shout out to Bill Maher. And sorry for the cussing, but guys love their cuss words. But the tariffs, man, that's been a thing. I wasn't even worried about the tariffs. The mainstream media made normies worry about the tariffs. I was not worried, concerned, or nothing because I know that what Trump did the first time with the tariffs worked, and I know his policies worked in the beginning. So why would I be concerned about him doing the same thing he did from the start? If it worked back then, it'll work right now. What the Biden administration did was try to just bring in a bunch of illegal aliens to have cheaper labor. That's pretty much what it was. The trucking industry, they flooded that industry with the illegal aliens to lower the price. That was their solution to inflation. These people are not very smart. They think that they are, but they're not as smart as they think. Just like with the scamdemic, this was a leftist thing that they really wanted to do. Now, Trump, unfortunately, did it a little bit, but not as much as a Gavin Newsom. They did this. I'm not sure why. Maybe they thought that they had to, or maybe the intention was to destroy us. I don't want to wear a tinfoil hat, so I'm going to just say that they're just incompetent. They thought they had to do this to, I guess, help us, to save us, but it really hurt us more than they could have ever imagined. We had to go in debt to pay for it. We got people that are losing their livelihoods, people that died as a result of not being able to go back to their regular life, people's marriages and all that kind of stuff dissolved. It was a mess. The scandemic was terrible, and that was a federal government, bipartisan, mostly left. It was them pushing for it. They do things that they think make sense. They do things they think work. And when they don't work, they are like, it's no big deal. Now, here's Trump talking about Pelosi possibly being investigated for insider trading. Now, if that happens, that's what should happen. And not just her, but really all of Congress.
I like it conceptually. And, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated, because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few. How did that happen? It happened by she knows exactly what's going to happen, what's going to be announced. She buys stock, and then the stock goes up after the announcement's made. And she ought to be investigated. I like it conceptually.
Exactly. But like I said, not just Nancy Pelosi, but all of Congress, because they all have the ability to forecast what's going to happen because of the laws that they pass. I wouldn't be surprised if they write certain things in these 10 trillion page documents they call bills that are expressly there for the purpose of enriching them. Okay. It'll be some kind of random, obscure, legalese thing that will just put money in their pocket. This is why they're able to have so much money when they leave. Like, okay, Barack Obama, what has he done to amass such a fortune? All that you did, you were a local rep in Illinois, and then you became the president. What have you actually done to justify having all these properties, the Martha's Vineyard or wherever you at, Cape Cod, wherever that is? How are you able to get that from a president's salary of $400,000? Is because that salary is that's just a little bit of play money. Your real money is from other things you got from being in office. Being a politician shouldn't be about, if you're a politician, it shouldn't be about just the money. It shouldn't be about just trying to get rich. It should be about serving the people. But nowadays, these politicos just want to get money. They don't really want to serve the people. In my humble opinion. What do y'all think? Some of these guys do want to serve us. I think Trump's one of them. He wants to serve the people. He wants to do the right thing by the actual people. But some of these guys are in there for their own personal benefit, in my humble opinion. All right. Now, here he is talking about windmills, because that's a real thing. That's a thing that I'm against windmills as well, because they're inefficient. They are ugly when they begin to break down. They don't last long, 20 years max, 15 years, 20 years. Maybe even before then, they're going to start to deteriorate. And when you have a windmill that is no longer in commission, it's an eyesore at best. If they dismantle it, the blades just are on the ground collecting rust, and they don't biodegrade. They're totally not green. They're not efficient. It's not an intelligent way to generate electricity. Go with nuclear. I'd rather you go with nuclear than anything. Okay, go with nuclear. That's how it should be. Nuclear, hydro, and good old-fashioned fossil fuels. The funniest thing right now, before we get to the windmill thing, the funniest thing right now is that coal is at an all-time high as far as demand. Maybe not all-time high, but it's at a big high right now in the USA. because of all the EVs that have come on the grid. It's only so many wind turbines you can build, only so much hydroelectric, only so many so-called renewables you can have before you got to go back to the regular everyday fossil fuel. You're burning coal. You got to do that in order to power the grid. They want everything to be electric. They want these AI data centers that take ridiculous amounts of electric. It's not going to be possible without fossil fuels. But let's watch this.
And the other thing I say to Europe, we will not allow a windmill to be built in the United States. They're killing us. They're killing the beauty of our scenery, our valleys, our beautiful plains. And I'm not talking about airplanes. I'm talking about beautiful plains, beautiful areas in the United States. And you look up and you see windmills all over the place. It's a horrible thing. It's the most expensive form of energy. It's no good. They're made in China, almost all of them. When they start to rust and rot in 8 years, you can't really turn them off. You can't bury them. They won't let you bury the propellers, the props, because there's a certain type of fiber that doesn't go well with the land. That's what they say. The environmentalists say you can't bury them because the fiber doesn't go well with the land. In other words, if you bury it, it will harm our soil. The whole thing is a con job. It's very expensive. And in all fairness, Germany tried it, and wind doesn't work. You need subsidy for wind, and energy should not need subsidy. With energy, you make money. You don't lose money. But more important than that is it ruins the landscape. It kills the birds. They're noisy. You have a certain place in the Massachusetts area that over the last 20 years had 1 or 2 whales wash ashore, and over the last short period of time, they had 18.
Because the wind, the offshore rigs, I believe, they're killing the actual wildlife out there, the aquatic life, because they're so loud. They create waves, the noise. It's just too much for these organisms to take. The whales, everything down the food chain is having a problem.
Okay, because it's driving them loco. It's driving them crazy. Now, windmills will not come. It's not going to happen in the United States. And it's very expensive. And I would love to see. Today I'm playing the best course, I think, in the world, Turnberry. Even though I own it, it's probably the best course in the world, right? And I look over the horizon and I see 9 windmills. It's like great. At the end of the 18th, I said, isn't that a shame? What a shame. You have the same thing all over Europe in particular. You have windmills all over the place. Some of the countries prohibit it, but people ought to know that these windmills are very destructive.
So what do y'all think about the windmills? Do you think that we should have more windmills in the USA, despite how destructive they are, despite how they're not environmentally friendly? Maybe 15 years, 20 years tops. 20 years tops is your limit you're going to have with the windmill before you cannot use it anymore. Before they got to replace it. I'm talking about it's not just a matter of, okay, we can repair it, we can fix it. You have to replace it in 20 years. And some of these windmills are the size of a football field. The offshore stuff, they're humongous. You probably see it from space. 20 years, all you got with it. Meanwhile, if you got a power plant, hey man, they last for forever for the most part. Keep the power plant maintained, replace parts on it, and you just bring in the fossil fuel, the so-called fossil fuel, whatever they want to call it. That's what I say makes the most sense. If you can have a windmill that would be efficient and it would last longer than 15 years, then I would say go ahead. But it's not efficient and it's not going to last long. It'd be an eyesore. It's probably the most environmentally non-friendly thing you could do. That's right, Carolyn. Take up acres and acres. That's right, Carolyn. Acres and acres. Shut down all windmills, Star, 100%. Richard says, solar power and windmill power just will not do for the future. It's a mere waste of time. Yeah, it's a waste of time, for sure. And we see what happens when you have inclement weather, when you have like ice storms in Texas. All of a sudden, the windmills are not windmilling. If there's no wind, there's no power. If there's no sun, there's no power. It doesn't make any sense, especially for big city areas that require a lot of energy. Now, this guy right here, we got an illegal alien. Oh, ABL, they're not going after criminals. They're not going after criminals, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they are. So this guy is from Vietnam. I'm not going to read his name, but you can see it right there. He's a Vietnamese criminal alien with convictions for drug possession, larceny, and burglary. Rammed the car behind him trying to evade ICE San Diego officers.
Stop resisting with your hand up.
So look, first of all, it doesn't matter what color you are. You could be black, white, Puerto Rican, and Canadian stripe. If you want to resist arrest, you want to try to ram people, well, you will get handled by the authorities. But beyond that, the Viet guys I know are pretty cool. They cool, man. Like, they don't even do stuff like this. They don't even, you bring in shame to the hometown. You bring in shame to your country, bro, because y'all don't even act like that, man. Y'all just be chilling, drinking Hennessy and stuff like this at your Vietnamese barbecue. Y'all, that's what y'all do. Y'all not really on that, as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it don't matter, man. You got to get up out of here. You want to be here illegally and commit crime, you got to go. So I like it. I love it. I want more of it. Shout out to ICE. Shout out to Border Patrol. Shout out to everybody who's getting the criminal aliens up out of the country. We got enough criminals that's homeborn right here in the USA. We don't need more from other parts of the world. Mike says, it's taking that many to arrest a tiny Vietnamese guy. Well, what I was told is that when you have force like that of multiple, it prevents the guy from being hurt. Because if it's just one-on-one, I could just punch you in the face and knock you out. But rather than doing that, let me just get multiple guys on you to get you on the ground, to get you to comply, and we can arrest you without fault, without any kind of damage or harm coming your way. That's what I was told. Does it make sense? I think it does. I mean, if it's one-on-one, I just punch you in the face right now and knock you out. But now that's police brutality, right? So we don't want to do it that way. What we want to do is we want to have a lot of force on you to prevent that from happening, get you arrested, get you in the car, get you in the first thing smoking to either Vietnam or Alligator Alcatraz, and then Vietnam. Whatever you want, we can do it. It's fine. It's totally fine. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All righty. We got, what's my man? This is Eric Swalwell. Have you guys seen Eric Swalwell? Listen, Eric Swalwell is so disappointing. When I saw him years ago, I'm like, that guy right there could be the president. I saw it. I saw their vision. Okay, all-American white guy. I saw the vision. But he just been so disappointing. I'm like, what happened to Eric Swalwell? Now, here he is again, putting out a pretty cringe video. Now, the caption says, I should be working out right now. I should be working out right now, but Republicans shut down Congress. So instead, I'm pumping iron at the gym. Now, look. Look at this video and see just how much weight he has on this bar. How much iron is he pumping?
I should be working right now. I should be at the Capitol. I should be in a suit. Instead, Republicans sent us home because they would rather stand up for Donald Trump than release the Epstein files and stand up for victims. We could be at Washington, D.C., lowering your healthcare costs, lowering your grocery costs, and restoring your rights. I should be working right now. Instead, I'm pumping iron at the gym.
There's so much. First of all, bro, you have 135 pounds on that bar. The bar itself is 45, and you got two 45s on either side. No, I'm no mathematician, but 45 and 45 is 90. 90 and 35, pardon me, 45, that's going to be 135. So pumping iron, that right there, I don't really consider that to be pumping iron. 135 pounds, You're just playing around with the weights. 135, I probably was doing that when I was a kid. Like, I'm talking about middle school, 135, and I probably was doing more than that. Eric, some are going to say, oh, ABL, it's a warm-up set. ABL, it's a warm-up set. A warm-up set? If I'm saying I'm pumping iron, why would I post a warm-up set? That don't make any sense. If I'm a singer, and I'm the best singer in the world, I'm not going to post me just harmonizing and practicing. I'm going to post a full-on, I'm talking about vocal range. It's going to be opera singer activity going on. If I'm going to post me really singing. Just like I would not post 145, listen, 135, 145 pounds, that ain't really going to do it, bro. That's not going to do it. But also something else. Y'all go on vacation every year right around this same time for a month. I think they have 2-month-long vacations every year. They don't really work much anyway. They don't work much. They only work about, like 45 full days? Y'all fact check me on that, but they don't even really work much. So this video was just overall cringe. And you know what's even more cringe? You know what's even more cringe than that? Hold on. So, of course, guys like me have responded. Many people have responded, including Greg Gutfeld over at Fox. And what did Swalwell do? Responded, hey, I challenge you to a bench press contest. Is that what we're going to do? A bench press contest? What's next, man? We're going to do a pull-up contest, push-up contest? Bro, ain't no what would be funny. Would it be so funny is if Gutfeld beat Swalwell. That would just make my day. It would make my day. And don't act like Gutfeld was wrong for pointing it out. You didn't want to put the video out, bro. You put that out on your own stuff. You got it branded with your logo and everything. Your team shot that, edited that. Y'all practiced for that. You had a script prepared. These guys are so silly. But I got a question. Do y'all think that Eric Swalwell could become president one day? At one point, years ago, I thought he could become president. But do y'all think he could become president? Is he going to run for president? Because he's putting out videos, trying to get his name more out there. Do y'all think that he would actually run for president? Y'all let me know. Hey, so in the octagon, that's what I want to see. Yeah, get in the octagon, fight that way. Now, speaking about guys like Eric Swalwell, okay, hold on. So if you guys drink Celsius, there's a variant of it. So look, High Noon Recall warns some Celsius energy drink cans may contain vodka seltzer. So, in these cans right here, okay, hold on, wait a minute. Okay. It says beverage brand High Noon is recalling some of its vodka seltzer packs due to some cans being mislabeled as non-alcoholic energy drinks. Okay, so in this little pack right here, some of them are going to be Celsius energy drinks, and in those drinks is going to be alcohol. So you think you're getting a little bit of caffeine in your system, you're getting some alcohol in your system. So now it's a recall if you got any of these. And I don't know about y'all, but that does not look very appealing for an alcoholic beverage, because what happens when you drink alcohol with sugar or anything kind of sweet? It said real juice, so there's sugar in it. When there's sugar and alcohol together, that'll cause your hangover. I had that one time. I had a glass of wine. I had a glass of wine, and it was my fault. I'm dumb. I went to Trader Joe's. They had it in there. It was eggnog. It was wine-based eggnog. I'm like, I like eggnog. Let me try that out. Man, I was tripping. I was all the way tripping. I got up in the morning. I felt like Muhammad Ali. I'm shaking. My knees is buckling. I'm like, oh no, we're not doing this no more. We're not doing that no more. So nah, alcohol and sugar together, that's going to be a definite no. But if you enjoy that, them right there, them cans that I showed, they have been recalled. So don't get drunk accidentally. Don't let your kids get into it. And rather than them focusing on their paperwork, they out there just drunk, 3 sheets in the wind. All right. Wine got a lot of carbs. I got a very good diet though. I eat 1 meal a day, so I'm straight. Yeah. Some people, what they do, they'll eat 3 big meals a day and then try to cut down on their carbohydrates. It's like, how about cut down on the food totally? If you got 3 big meals a day, why are you trying to count your carbs? How about just cut down on the food that you eat? You can actually eat more carbs if you eat less food and still come out more physically fit. In my humble opinion. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Now look, this guy right here, okay, this guy, what are you going to do if you're on the airplane and this guy starts acting up? Now, a little bit of context. The caption, man threatens to bomb EasyJet flight from Luton to Glasgow over in UK, shouting some very crazy things. We're going to just watch it. Yes, this is real. I looked it up. I verified it. It's not a skit. This is 100% real. What are you going to do when you hear those words on the airplane?
Going to bomb the plane. Dead to America, dead to Trump. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Oh my God. Sit down. Don't move.
Now look. Look. Y'all know me. I'm a man of peace. I want peace. I don't want no problems. But if I'm on the airplane and you doing that in the aisle, we're going to fight. And really ain't going to be no fight. That's going to be me punching you right in your jaw and knocking you clean on smooth out. Y'all, you going straight to bed because I don't got time for you to try to plot no bomb, to light your shoe on fire, to try and rush the cockpit. Because now when I hear when I hear that, I'm like, prepare to die. And I like my life. So you're not going to do that to me right now. You about to get stomped completely into wine. Speaking of wine, you're going to get stomped into wine like it's no tomorrow. So yeah, please, I beg of everybody, do not do that on the airplane. Don't do that on the airplane, man. Nah. Allahu Akbar, death to Trump. Bro, you tripping. You are completely out of your mind. So hopefully he gets arrested in UK when they land and he does some serious time in the penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks. Because that right there is just out of this world, man. My heart would have jumped out of my chest. Out of my chest. On an airplane, out of everybody, out of every place in the world to do that. If you're just on the street corner saying that, okay, whatever. On the airplane, bro, no way. Yeah, they're very slow to react there. That's right, ER. I thought it was a skit. I looked it up. Various sources, Sky News UK, it had it right there. It was confirmed. So yeah, let's just not do that. Okay. Now here's an interesting piece of video.
More.
The quick caption. If you're broke, hold on. If you're woke, you're probably rich.
More privileged kids are the ones who end up indulging in all of this nonsense because they're privileged. You know, if you're poor, you're too busy trying to figure out how to pay the mortgage. Whereas when you come from privilege, you feel guilty about your privilege anyway. And then you're going around looking for hats that you can put on. Oh, you know, today I'm gay, tomorrow I'm trans, etc. Actually, did you know my great-grandmother was black? Or whatever it is, to try and claim some victimhood so that you can be admired by your friends. Or I'm suffering from mental health issues, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. The schools are encouraging them in this way. They're teaching white kids to feel guilty and black kids to feel like they're victims, encouraging the whole trans stuff. More privilege.
All right, so that's that. Now, shout out to her. Who does she look like? I'm thinking Beetlejuice, the young lady from there, was that y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. But shout out to her. She had a really good message. It's a lot of these rich privileged kids that do stuff like that are super woke. Those are going to be the ones out there talking about free Palestine. Those are the ones at Columbia protesting all day and not doing anything else. That's them. And it's always been them. Always. And I said it. People who are actually successful don't do stuff like that. rich kids are not successful. Rich kids, in this instance, are just those who are taking advantage of their parents' money. Their parents are giving them money. Their parents are affording them a lifestyle in which they can be rich. They're not rich on their own merit. They're rich from their parents. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with getting help from your parents. I'm not saying that. But they don't understand what it takes to actually make it in society because they've had this money forever from their parents. They don't know what their parents went through. They don't understand their parents' struggle unless it's like their parents are rich too. But let's just say, here's an example. Let's just say the parents were self-made, multimillionaires. The kids may not understand what it takes to be like their parents because their life was always easy for them. Silver spoon, their parents did not have that. So their parents don't identify with the communist ideology because that kind of thing would not have enabled them to get to where they are today, from rags to riches. You don't go from rags to riches by identifying and practicing communist ideology. You go from riches to rags by identifying with communism. You go from fat to skinny when you identify with communist ideology, but you don't get success. You don't go from nothing to something by being a communist unless you are in the government. As always. But yeah, shout out to her and shout out to you guys for watching. Okay. Now this has, no, I ain't gonna play that. That might be a little bit fake. Hold on. All right. So Stephen Colbert, there was the protest outside of his spot where nobody showed up. Now, I think I already showed this in the previous live stream, but you see what's going on here. You see, this is the Stephen Colbert protest. My man right here giving the speech. What is he saying? Let's hear a big man speech.
We can't even depend on the courts to defend our democracy anymore. And that is why we are here today, to be maliciously compliant to our First Amendment right to stand up to this regime. And that's exactly what this is.
Bro, there's nobody there. There is no one there. I know you practice all night in front of the mirror. Who can do a great speech? Who's going to do a job? Matt's going to do. Matter of fact, hold on. This guy right here. Hold on. This guy he kind of has the I want to fight ABL while I'm drunk physique a little bit. He needs to be a little bit more chubby on the midsection, a little teeny bit more, but he's right there. If you're getting about 15 pounds and he had a beer in his hand, I would cross the street if I saw him walking because I already know he's going to win the fight. But look, I know you practice in the mirror for a long time. You can do it, Matt. You could go out there, give a great speech. Stand up for what's right, Matt. I know you did that. But it's landing on deaf ears because ain't nobody listening. Ain't nobody really there. There's nobody there, bro. And again, this is a Stephen Colbert protest. They're protesting to get Colbert back on the air because I guess they think this is what it's about the government. The government made them do it. Really, Colbert was a loser. Like, you're getting paid $15 million per year with 200 employees to say how bad Trump is every night. So if there's any money to be made in that, which is not really because you're losing money, if there's money to be made there, they see that Trump is going to be out of office soon. So it's going to run dry. They're going to lose even more. So now let's just move on from the whole thing. Nobody watches late night shows anymore. They don't watch Colbert, and Trump about to be gone. It's over with. It is 100% over with. Now here is, what's this?
Looking for.
Who is this? This ain't Jon Stewart. Who is this? Seth Meyers. That's right, Seth Meyers. I almost forgot. Look, I've not watched these shows in so long. I'd have forgot. All these guys kind of blend together. Okay, middle-aged white guy with a clean shave and TV hair. Seth, Steven, Jimmy. I don't know. How you gonna have two late night shows named Jimmy? Like, what is that? That's how generic they are and how nobody really cares. Anyway.
Looking for a rating. No, I just want to pause to say this is a comedy show, and I know a lot of people are going to say, why are you talking about this? Just make jokes, and we try every day. We try. But we're also human beings, and we're appalled by the unspeakable horrors currently unfolding in Gaza, and our government is complicit, which is why we have a duty as Americans to speak out on a horrific crisis that has been foreseeable for a long time, as Senator Bernie Sanders explained months ago.
Okay, so where's the comedy in that? Where's the comedy? I'm just being lectured to. And if I'm going for a comedy show, I don't want to be lectured to. I understand you covering real news. I get it, 100%. But this face right here is not what I want to see when I'm tuning into your TV show. You look like a disappointed school teacher. Okay, Anthony been talking too much in the back of the class. He's acting up, can't sit down. Okay, Anthony, I need you to stop now. Okay, you're talking too much. Don't do the Michael Jackson spin anymore, Anthony. Go on and sit down. Okay, well, sharpen your pencil. Okay, sharpen your pencil right now and sit back down. That's how you look. I don't want to watch that, man. Like, why do I want to see that, bro? For what? So, what's his name again? Seth Meyers. Yeah. Nah, I'm good, bro. So here's a good OG, a great OG that they should listen to. We got Jay Leno. Now, I watched Jay Leno when he was out. I enjoyed Jay Leno. Jay Leno was a good late night host. Good late night host.
There was an analysis done of your work on The Tonight Show for the 22 years, and that your jokes were roughly equally balanced between going after Republicans and taking aim at Democrats.
Well, that's
Did you have a strategy, or like was that?
Well, it's funny to me when I got hate letters from, dear Mr. Lyon, you and your Republican friends. Well, Miss Lyon, I hope you and your Democratic buddies are happy over the same joke. And I go, well, that's good. So that's how you get a whole audience. Now you have to be content with half the audience because you have to give your opinion.
How did we get to this place? Or do you have advice for comedians today to sort of bring it back to something?
Now, before he gets to the advice, somebody said that he's a great car guy, Jay Leno. Hey, Jay Leno has a garage that is of my dreams. I saw him with that Mustang. What's that? The GT 350 or whatever that is. That really expensive Mustang. Oh, it was so beautiful. That's goals. That's goals if I ever had them. But that's way in the future because that car costs so much money. You got to pretty much be king tut to afford it. But let's keep on going.
Rodney Dangerfield and I were friends. I knew Rodney 40 years. I have no idea if he was Democrat or Republican. We never discussed. We just discussed jokes. And to me, I like to think that people come to a comedy show to kind of get away from the things, the pressures of life, wherever it might be. And I love political humor, don't get me wrong, but it's just what happens was people wind up cozying too much to one side or the other.
Comedy can be used to unite or divide people. Do you have any advice on how we can use it for common ground?
This is a great uniter. Funny is funny. People either, it's funny when someone who's not, who you make fun of their side and they laugh at it,
I mean, I have no problem with jokes about Republicans, conservatives, or whatever. It's fine. I mean, I always make jokes. I say Orange Man bad. Okay. I say, I like RFK and Trump having the matching orange tans. It's okay. I'm not trying to be mean or malicious. I'm just joking. It's okay. But when it's a constant, when you are on a late night show and you are attacking one side, and that's like the whole shtick. And it's to the point where when you have these shows, they just make up stuff every day. They just make up stuff to talk about. And that's all you have. People just get tuned out. They say, no, I'm good. Let's talk about something else. Let's watch something else. And then also people have lower attention spans. Why do I want to watch this show that got commercials in it, that's unfunny, that's drawn out? I'm not trying to see Stephen Colbert do a hand puppet on a show that has an hour of commercials. Why?
I just find getting out, I don't think anybody wants to hear a lecture. To me, it's just, when I was with Rodney, it was always the economy of words. Get to the...
And Rodney was great. I get no respect. I get no respect. He was fantastic, and really one of the best.
The joke as quickly as possible.
Well, and it's worth noting that both you and Rodney Dangerfield experienced and have been experiencing enormous success, right? So your approach worked in the marketplace.
Well, why why shoot for just half an audience all the time? You know, why not try to get the whole? I mean, I like to bring people into the big picture. I don't understand why you would alienate one particular group, you know, or just don't do it at all. I'm not saying you have to throw your support or whatever, but just do what's funny.
Exactly. So shout out to Jay Leno. He was at the Reagan Foundation talking about a few things, and then he got into the whole issue of the late night guys going the way to Dodo Bird. It's a wrap for them. There will still be some people that get watched, but now it'll go more toward the streamers and stuff like that. That's going to be the way of the future. It's already like that right now. Guys like Casanat and Jake and Logan Paul, they are killing it. They're killing it. Now, Sydney Sweeney, I want to speak on this right quick. Have you guys seen this? They got articles. They got all kind of stuff think pieces talking about Sydney Sweeney. Apparently, it's racist to talk about your genetics if you are white, blonde hair, blue eyed. So look, you see the title from MS-13 DNC. Sydney Sweeney's ad shows an unbridled cultural shift toward whiteness. Now, I won't play the commercial because they will give it a copyright, but the commercial basically was saying that I have good genes. It's a play on words, as in genetics, and she has on genes. But obviously the genetics, this is my very first time seeing Sydney Sweeney, for real. I didn't know what this was before all this happened. I had no idea because I don't watch TV. I don't watch nothing, so I don't know nothing about a lot of pop culture. This is my first time seeing her, and hey, man, I see why she got her in the commercial. I see why she's talking about them good genes. Yeah. This is like old school 90s commercials where they just had the hot girl wearing clothes, and that was the commercial. Okay, so look, you see the subhead. Advertisements are always mirrors of society, and sometimes what they reflect is ugly and startling. Ugly? Hey, I don't know about y'all, but I don't see nothing ugly. You hear me? Hey, I don't see nothing ugly about this at all. At all. Hey, Sydney Sweeney, shout out to her. People are mad, writing think pieces.
Should we?
Now look, maybe we kind of understanding why certain people have a problem with it. Okay. And before I play this person's video, I don't know gender or nothing like that. I see a flag in the background, so I don't know what's happening with this person's identity. But anyway, the reason why they say it's racist, quote unquote, is because during the funny mustache guy's reign in World War II Germany, there was quote unquote propaganda, Aryan master race propaganda. We want the blonde haired, blue eyed. That was the thing. They want the blonde haired, blue eyed white person to be the Aryan master race. So now, if you say I have good genetics and I'm blonde haired, blue eyed, that means you support the Aryan master race vision from the funny mustache guy in World War II Germany. That's what they're saying, okay? Because I put my video out about this to short, it was confusion. Wait, what? Why is it? That's why.
You'd be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this. Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. Like, that is Nazi propaganda.
Okay, so look, I think it's just hate. It's just hate. This is the tale as old as time. Women, not all, but women hating on women has made it become an issue of a think piece, an issue of this is racism, an issue of outrage. You're just hating. It's okay. It's fine. Just admit it. Listen, if you look like Sydney Sweeney, you would do the exact same thing that she is doing. And it's fine. It is totally fine. But don't hate. There's nothing racist about a jeans commercial in which she says a play on words. Okay?
Sydney.
Now, we got somebody else. I'm not sure who this is. Okay? Let's check this out right quick.
Sweeney's jeans ad is giving ethnic steak propaganda. It is giving dystopian. It is giving 1940s Germany. And they could have had her said anything. She could have just said, I'm hot, drink my bathwater, here are my jeans. But instead they had her say, genes are passed down from parents to children. I have good genes. My genes are blue. Why? Yeah, no, that was like the most thinly veiled propaganda I think that I've ever seen. Sydney Sweeney's jeans ad is giving...
Okay, so you see what's going on. See, this right here, this is called that TikTok virus. A lot of young people are on TikTok and they're getting fed this kind of information. Just straight up BS. Complete nonsense. Complete nonsense. So, and I think you understand why people are starting to, I think you understand who's saying it and why they're saying it. But it's so much of that on there, they're not getting a balanced diet of real information. So she might have been brainwashed by the exact same thing. That's part of the reason why I'm here, to stop the brainwashing of our young people. Okay, somebody said Wendy. Hey, I didn't say it. Hey, I didn't say it. Y'all said it. Y'all say she looked like Wendy from Wendy. Like what's my man? Dave. Shout out to Dave. RP to Dave. His daughter. But anyway. Okay, now Cincinnati situation. There was a brawl at outside of a bar. Okay, I can't show too much because this fighting. You know, I said it the other day that this feels kind of like 2016. I don't know. It's certain things that are happening with social media, some of these viral videos that happened already. It's like I'm kind of living in Groundhog Day a little bit, because why are we still watching fight videos like it's 2011, 2010, World Star Hip Hop fight videos, black and white people. That's an old thing. But anyway, so there was a bar fight in Cincinnati in which it was blacks and whites fighting, and it went viral. Have you guys seen the video? So that guy right there got knocked out by somebody, a black person.
I got that too.
And you kind of see what's going on. It's at night. People are around. Maybe they're drunk outside of a club, something like you see what's happening.
Karma, bitch. He shouldn't be outside.
Yeah, I told TJ says, I noticed a lot of fight videos on my feed lately. Exactly. I have as well, but I try to avoid stuff like this. I didn't really watch it until right now. Okay, so some say it wasn't a brawl, it was an attack.
Sleeping again.
Well, what kind of an attack was it? He got hit right there. What kind of an attack was it? Was it a hate crime? Like, did they know each other beforehand? Like, what kind of an attack was it? Now, here is the vice mayor. And I think the event was outside of a jazz festival. Here's the vice mayor of Cincinnati talking about it.
But the conversation turns to this one incident, adults fighting at 3 a.m. This is not who we are. But the conversation.
So people get mad at her because they're saying, oh, you're trying to downplay it. It's just about adults fighting. It's not an attack. It wasn't a hate crime. Was it a hate crime? Was it like some kind of planned thing? Or was it adults fighting? I've seen events where afterward, late at night, adults fight, whether they be black, white, Puerto Rican, and Canadian stripe. What made this go viral was the black and white nature of it, which people on the internet, a lot of influencers, may be a racial motivated attack. But was it that? Do we have any evidence of that? I don't want to say that when there's not any evidence. Now, if there's any kind of crime that's committed, of course, lock people up. But can you assign a thing that is not necessarily evident? So here is the police chief out there in Cincinnati.
Another topic I want to cover real quick. Social media and journalism and the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you. Social media, the post that we've seen, does not depict the entire incident. That is one version of what occurred. At times, social media and mainstream media and their commentaries are a misrepresentation of the circumstances surrounding any given event.
I agree with that. I think we all can agree with that, even if you don't agree with what you're saying right here about this incident. Even if you think even if you think this incident is what you saw from your favorite influencer or the raw video, even if you think it is that, you can't deny what she said, that the mainstream media and social media often will twist a story to fit a particular narrative. That is a verified fact. Again, even if you don't think that this case fit into that.
What that does, that causes us some difficulties in thoroughly investigating the activity and enforcing the law. Because what happens, that social media post and your coverage of it distorts the content of what actually happened. And it makes our job more difficult. Go ahead, right here.
Thank you. 2 questions. Where were the nearest officers?
In the central business section. They were working. They were both in vehicles, and like I said, they had to maneuver through the traffic.
My second question is, you had said social media, news media distorted the content of what actually happened. What exactly was distorted? I understand that there was multiple views of the video, but exactly what led up to this? I mean, what was distorted?
Yeah, so I think by the irresponsibility with social media is it just shows one side of the equation quite frequently without context, without factual context. And then people run with that. And then it grows legs and it becomes something bigger that we then have to try to manage as part of the investigation.
Because I'm going to tell you something, though. A lot of these events, you're talking about clubs, bars, any kind of party, there could always, I ain't going to say always, but there's a high chance of there being fights just like that afterward. And it's never really a big deal. This became a big deal that she's doing a press conference for because of social media. So that's that. So I think she's right. And I saw that from the beginning. That's why I didn't cover it. I knew what it was immediately. I saw what was going on. I'm like, I think it's being blown out of proportion. Yes, it's bad, but they're talking about hate crime and stuff like that. I don't know if I really see that. Now, we're talking about assault, of course. Yeah, locked the guy up for assault and others for assault because there was mutual combat going on between people. It was adults fighting. That's what that was. Okay. Phoenix says it was not a fight. Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of videos of it. You had some sucker punches, and then it was just interaction. It looked like what happens after an event of people drinking. That's why I don't go to stuff like that, because I'm not trying to be involved. I'm not trying to be involved at all. Hold on. Greg says, what's the other side? The white couple attacked the group of blacks. I mean, people just kind of get caught up in the color part, and that kind of distorts reality. Once you get caught up in the color part, you're focused about that and not so much about the actual facts of the case. That's just really what it is. Now, my thing would be anybody that did anybody commit any kind of crime, go ahead and get locked up. I'm not trying to say anything else other than that, but what is the actual penalty? What are we going to do? You know, what's going to actually happen?
Who killed?
I don't think that the results will be what people think that they should be, in my humble opinion. All right, but I'm reading some of the comments here. Randall says there's a woman that got knocked out. People get knocked out all the time. People fight all the time and get knocked out, but you know, is that enough to warrant, like, you know, I don't know. It's like people want there to be blood, like they want it to be like life sentence, death. I don't know, man. I think it's just blown out of proportion, in my humble opinion. I'm gonna read some of the comments and I'm gonna keep rocking and rolling. Okay, now the cop seen for blocks. Not about social media. She's gaslighting. Local Cincinnati news is the ultra woke. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find more video about that. Okay, Cincinnati fight downtown. World Star. That's what I feel like is happening right now. World Star. Hold on.
Welcome back in here to Live and.
Okay, that ain't what I'm looking for.
Welcome back in here to Live and Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack.
Y'all give me a second here. Let's go to Fox.
Unbelievably vicious video. This is very tough to watch. I got to warn you.
in Cincinnati. This man was beaten in the street in Cincinnati over the weekend. The police say 5 suspects are facing charges. They're asking others to turn themselves in. Then a woman who tried to defend him also was punched and knocked out.
World Star videos for real. Is that what we're doing in 2025? All right.
Cold by a young man on the street. And as I said before, one person called 911 in this whole crowd. They're all too concerned about getting this whole thing on video so they can post it on their stupid phones. National correspondent Brian Yanis reports live here in New York.
All right. So was that the gist of it? I mean, okay, here's my question. Before they jumped this man, what happened? Why did they do this? What's the actual full story? Why did they do that? For no reason, just a random attack? They didn't say that, because sometimes we've seen the random attacks happen and they say it was random attack. Was that what this was? Why didn't they say that? Why didn't anybody say that? Y'all let me know. Can anybody tell me? Y'all please, if anybody knows, matter of fact, this is going to be a great question. If anybody knows why this happened, if anybody knows what transpired before the camera started rolling right there in that video, y'all please let me know in the comments. If anyone knows what happened before the camera started rolling, let me know in the comments. Because whenever I see a video like that, I'm like, why did it happen? It's like with the arrest video I did with the guy who refused to get out and had to get ejected or extracted from the vehicle. My question is immediately, why is this happening? When I saw the first frame in the video, I already knew what was going on. He was trying to resist so he could get extracted and then get paid. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what that was. Off the rip, I could tell that was going on. But in this one, I'm not quite sure. Okay, so does anybody know or not? Anybody answering my question? My question was, what happened before the camera started rolling? Does anybody know? Does anybody know why they did this, or are we just making assumptions? Nobody? Still investigating? Okay. Okay, all right. I mean, so we don't know? We don't know nothing? But we rush to conclusions? Is that what we do on the internet in 2025? All right. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Now, here's a story I did cover. Mary says, no excuse. It was wrong. Okay. That's fine. But what happened? Can I get the story? People fight every day. Why did they hit him? What was the purpose of doing that? Was it random? They didn't say it was random. Why did that happen? Okay, I'm reading the comments and nobody knows. So if nobody knows what happened, then why are we making this be this really big thing? What are we basing our outrage on? What your favorite influencer said? That's why, I try to be very responsible on my platform. I don't just put stuff up for rage bait, hate bait, clickbait, because it damages people and their outlook on reality. They get a false view of reality because they're being told something or they're being made to feel a certain way that is not really backed up by the facts. You could look at a video and assign your opinion to it and pass it off as fact and make somebody believe it. I don't believe in doing that. I believe in giving you actual factual news. I'll give you my opinion, but I'm not going to say this was a hate crime, this was targeted, when I don't know that. Whenever I do a video, my long form especially, I write an article. I will write an article and give you unbiased sources from the left, from the right, from the center, everybody. And y'all know I do that. So why would I do a video about that? Anyway, I'm finished with that. Okay. Lyndon says they got a video that shows what happened. Why you can't just tell me? Why you can't just tell me? Just tell me right now. I'm not going to sit here and do a bunch of research right now on the stream. Okay. So anyway, I'll move on because don't nobody know what happened. But yeah, everybody's outraged. Now this, I do know what happened. This was the New York City shooting that was so unfortunate. You had 4 who were taken away in New York City, and the guy left a note saying that he had CTE, talking about the NFL, blaming them, all this, that, and the third. Now, he appears to be black and Asian, but don't get me in the line. His name is Shane Tamura. So black and Japanese, perhaps? I have no idea. but I'm just guessing. Okay, this is the guy that did it back when he was. This is him back when he was playing football in high school, but he was 27 when he did what he did a few days ago.
Injured another after.
Somebody said bad take on this, ABL. What you mean it's a bad take? How is it a bad take when I'm just relying on the facts? If I was to tell you, and I'm sorry, I got some rain happening, so I might get a power outage if that happens. It won't be the man didn't come get me, Tony didn't come get me, but I do have rain going on, so it might be power outage. And I felt a little bit of a pop in my headphones, which is a sign that the power might go out. But anyway, how did I have a bad take when all I said was I don't have enough information to say exactly what this was? It looks bad, but what am I going to say aside from it looks bad? I don't know what happened. I don't know why they were fighting. I don't know what happened before the camera started rolling. I can't just make an assumption based on the video and assign a narrative. It's the same thing happened with the arrest video. People saw the first one, and because they're not street smart, they don't understand what was happening. I am street smart, so I saw it immediately. But when they saw the full video, it made them see what I saw from the beginning without the full video. You see what I'm saying? So if I don't have enough to understand what's really going on, if I can't figure it out, I'm not going to make a video with my opinion, saying something, reaching a conclusion without enough information to do it. But anyway, this is in New York City, the guy who targeted the NFL but did not get them.
Who killed 4 people and seriously injured another after a shooting at an office building in New York, spent time in Southern California growing up. The shooter, identified as Shane Tamura, graduated from Granada Hills Charter High School in 2016, where he was a football standout. He transferred there from Golden Valley High School in Santa Clarita. Old teammates of his we spoke to described Tamura as a good person who never caused any problems.
And letters found on Tamura's body after yesterday's shooting show that he blamed football for giving him CTE. He also blamed the NFL, although he never played professionally.
As we continue to follow the latest, let's get to ABC's Nicole D'Antonio, who is live from Washington. Nicole.
Well, and Rachel, John, this morning we're also learning more about the moments leading up to that mass shooting. Police believe the shooter traveled cross country from Las Vegas to New York City before opening fire in Midtown Manhattan. This morning, an active investigation into a mass shooting in an office tower in the heart of New York City.
Now, this is the guy that did it. They first tried to say that he was possibly white. It's like, why would you say that? Because it had kind of a grainy, they had that picture right there. So that picture right there was out, and from that picture, they said he possibly could be white. It's like, well, I don't know if I see a white guy right there. I see more of an Asian guy right there with like an afro. Maybe the afro confused them. He's Asian, but there's an afro. So they just said, okay, Asian guy with an afro, white. I'm like, all right, man. If you don't know what race he is, just say that and just put the picture out there and let the people call in to see if they know who this guy is, to give you some leads or whatever happens. Now, my question would be, how do you have that long gun like that just out in the public in New York City, middle of the daytime? It's bright, people can see, people are at work. How are you able to have that long gun just out there holding it? New York City, they're tough on the guns. How was that just allowed to happen? How far was his vehicle or wherever he came from the actual place in which he committed the mass shooting? That's what I want to know. So, yeah, rest in peace to those who died. Prayers out to their family. He was targeting the NFL at 345, what was that, Park Avenue, whatever that was in New York City. He was targeting the NFL because he says he had CTE, which is a traumatic brain. It's a degenerative brain disorder from multiple hits. And a lot of former NFL guys are... A lot of former NFL guys supposedly have it. The only way to determine if you have CTE is after you die, they got to examine your brain. So hopefully they examine his brain because he might have been a ticket time bomb for a long time. And there could be other guys out there that are the exact same way. So if you examine his brain and then match it with his behavior and you see other guys that have similar behavior patterns, maybe get them some help, maybe get them some treatment, because what you don't want is for them to do something like this. You don't want that. Now, I'm not trying to say he's not responsible for what he did. Of course he is. What I want to do is prevent that from happening. Guys are ticking time bombs. We see it all the time. The feds will come to the house. The family is trying to do something with them. The feds keep coming to their house, talking to the family, talking about guns. There's already warning signs that someone will do something like this. In this case, it's no different, in my humble opinion. It's the exact same thing. Mean Saltine says, who gets CTE from high school ball? I have no idea. I don't know. You know, they said he was a standout, so he might have been somebody that was like a highly active player. I don't know what was going on, but hey, something happened. Who knows? So maybe he had CTE, maybe he didn't. I have no idea. Yeah, he was not in the NFL. He named the NFL probably because he's crazy, and in his mind it made sense. But when people are not really in the right state of their mind, you can't assign logic to someone who's illogical. You know, you're trying to talk to somebody that has like severe autism and they can barely speak. You're trying to speak like normal. That it's not really going to work. You have to understand that they are at a certain point intellectually, that certain things make sense to them that don't make sense to you. So we'll see. All right. Let me see. Big O says RIP Hulkster and Ozzy both had head trauma. Hulk body slams. Ozzy coat slammed. Hey, Ozzy lasted for a long time. All them drugs preserved him for a long time, because it's crazy that he was able to live that long. I mean, RIP to Ozzy, RIP to the Hulk. And listen, NWO. Hey, y'all know what it is. Hogan was the best. I don't think nobody would ever top what Hogan did with wrestling. Maybe that's just me being my age and being biased, because when I was young, when I was like a little boy, Hogan was like the biggest thing in the world. Hulkamania was so real in the 80s. And then in the 90s, he still was able to maintain his name. And when NWO came around, it was really something, man. It was Hulkamania all over again with NWO and DX and all that kind of stuff, the Attitude Era. If you weren't like a teenager during that time or a young person during that time, it's hard to understand. All right. Yeah, RP John MacArthur. Yep, RP John MacArthur. For sure. Okay. Let me see what else we got going on here. All right. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All righty. Let's go ahead and keep rolling. I saw a comment that I wanted to respond to, but it's gone now, so it's fine. Could have been a Manchurian candidate. It could have been. Could have been. You never know. All right, let's keep going here. Now, I've spoken about AI and how you need to, especially young guys, you need to get into a career field that is as AI proof as possible. This guy saying, well, look, I'm an HVAC tech and you think AI won't take my job? You're mistaken. Okay. Now, this is an interesting video. I have a lot to say, but let's check it out.
AI isn't coming for my job. I'm an HVAC technician. No, it is. It is. Nah, you're all screwed. You better get rich quick, because I literally was working on a unit. I had not a damn clue. It was better off speaking Chinese to me. I had no idea what was going on with it. Zero, zip. I couldn't understand it. See these? I took a picture, took a video, explained what was happening. I gave the symptom. Within 35 seconds, it told me exactly what was wrong with the unit and how to fix it. AI is coming for your job, buddy. It is. AI.
Okay, there's a lot there. First of all, what you have there, sir, is an advanced way to Google search. You have a good diagnostic tool, perhaps, but just because you have a good diagnostic tool does not mean that I want to do it. I'm going to still call you to come fix it. Now, whether you know what you're doing or not, that's on you. Fix my actual AC unit or don't. And if you can't do it, I'm going to call somebody else. That's how that's going to go. I'm not going to go out there messing with no 240 volt or nothing like that. Mess around to get electrocuted, spilling chemicals on myself. I'm good, because you went to school for that. you have education about how to be an HVAC tech that I don't have. So I'm gonna still have you do it. Your job is secure. Look, they got hammers, then they got brad nailers. That doesn't mean that people that swing hammers are now out of a job. It just means they have another tool. They got another tool, a new tool to use that might make their job a little bit more efficient. That does not mean that the job no longer exists. Hey, people still go to barbershops every single day. I shave my own hair every 3 to 4 days. I cut my beard, shave my head every 3 to 4 days. But there's still barbershops that exist. All the tools you need to cut your own hair, you have, and they're not that expensive. My clippers, them cheap little Chinese clippers, $20. They sharp. You can edge lines. You could cut hair. All of that with these $20. Okay, a mirror, a little brush. Your whole little barber kit might cost $35 to cut your own hair every day. You still want to go to a barber because they went to barber school. They know how to cut hair better than you. And even on some things that aren't really specialized, like, I don't know, changing a light bulb, the smoke detector battery. Listen, that battery, a little deep, is so easy to change. All you need is a battery. Either a 9-volt or some got the 2 AA's. Whatever it is, just get up on the ladder, change it, and be done. People can do that and still don't do it. Service-based industries aren't going anywhere. However, when you can sit at a computer and do a repetitive task that doesn't require much thinking, I suppose, that at a certain point can be automated. If you're talking about picking things like picking cotton, strawberries, that can be automated because you're doing the repetitive motion. You just you're not using any kind of brain power. You just kind of doing it. It's simple. A dishwasher. And here's something else. Back when I was a dishwasher, we had the actual pot sink, the manual pot sink for the more, the actual stainless steel. But for the plates and all like that, we had the actual machine that would wash it. But still, with this machine that washed dishes for us, you still normally had 2 guys on it. One guy loading and the other guy putting stuff up. And you got to clean the machine. You got to change out the jets, change out the soap. You still have to have maintenance on this machine. So although there's AI, although there's automation, when you physically got to do things, you can't eliminate the human element. The only way there's no more human element in HVAC is if you get a fully autonomous Android that is basically a human being. If we get to that point, which I don't see no time soon, if we get to that point, and more humanity, because there's no more need for humans. All right. Carolyn says ABL is right. AI is a tool to help mankind. In the wrong hands, it can be used for evil, like fire, electricity, etc. Exactly. 100% correct. Because in previous years, the things that we can do, the weapons we have, did not exist. Nuclear weapons. I mean, think about how we nuked Japan twice. Thousands, hundreds of thousands dead immediately because of modern man and our technological advances. So that's always happened. There's always been a threat of technology damaging humans. That's not anything new. AI, I feel like it's kind of a fear-mongering campaign from some people. I'm not scared at all. I'm not scared in the least bit. Okay. Dude says, so should everyone get a base pay every month? Well, what would the base pay be? Like, and where would the money come from? Where would the money come from? That's my question. If everybody just got money for doing nothing, then where does the money come from? How is it generated? But from the people that actually work, those that actually do things to generate revenue, we got to pay more taxes? Or how does that really? Because listen, if the government gives out a check every month, it'll only come from you. You have to be the one to actually pay into the system. And if you're not paying, then it just go upon the top 1% to pay. How does that really work? What's going to happen is people will have to just work. Ain't going to be no more cheating the system. Ain't going to be no more, I'm 25 years old, able-bodied, but I don't want to do nothing, and I got a bunch of kids. Those days are coming to an end. Now, maybe you could do that somewhere else in the world, but I'm not really sure where. Where else in the world can you just do nothing and get paid? Like, how does that really work? I'm not really sure how that works. Okay. Now, this guy says college is a scam. I've not watched it, but I want to see it. I'm interested to see what he has to say. All right, let's go ahead and throw it on here.
Does anyone else feel like college was a complete scam? Like, I did 4 years at college, and let me tell you, what a joke. Half this shit that was being taught. I mean, keep in mind, first 3 years of my college years were all remote. I was literally on a computer. And you're telling me I got to pay fucking loans? I got to pay back people for doing what? Learning online? That I teach my fucking self? Get the fuck out of here. Better yet, most people who graduated college, including myself and many others, are struggling to find a job. Like a full-time job. And I'm not saying, I'm going to make $100,000 starting. I know you got to work your way up. Especially, I chose business management, right? And I know a lot of people have business degrees that I know. But even not. Like, I feel like college is only worth it if you're going to be a doctor, teacher. I can't find any other profession that's kind of worth it in my eyes. Please tell me and comment down. Is it just me or, like, college is really bull? Does anyone else feel...
All right, first of all, the accent, shout out to you. I'm walking here. What are we doing? Tone, what are we going to do today, Tone? I got to get my Italian accent down pat. I kind of sound like Mario and Luigi right now. But anyway, you went to college for business management. Is that what you went for? You might as well say general studies, bro. You have a non-specialized degree. What did you think you were going to do with your degree? When I think business management, I'm thinking about you went to school to give yourself tools to become an entrepreneur, to work for yourself. If you got a degree in business management and now you're on Indeed looking for jobs that match your degree, you're not going to find nothing. You had no game plan before you went to college. What was your goal? Like, okay, I'm going to get my degree, and then when I graduate, I'm going to do what? What was the actual plan after college? You see, me, I had a plan. When I was in high school, I knew what I wanted to do. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to college and get skills enough to become a graphic designer, and I'm going to have my own business. That was my plan at like 17, 18. I knew what I was going to do, and I did just that. I got my skills, and then I was a designer for about 10 or more years. That's what I did before YouTube. Self-employed, did very well for myself, clients all over the world. That's what my plan was. What is your plan? What was your plan? What are you going to do now? Just look for jobs on Indeed? I mean, if you're going to go to college, look, I'll throw you this though, bro. I'll throw you this. College will scam you if you let it. Say that one more time. College will scam you if you let it. If you go and get a degree in business management or underwater basket weaving or some other thing that's not specialized and is just open-ended and you have no plan, they'll take all your money, give you student loan debt, and then leave you with nothing. They will do that to you. That's kind of how they operate. If you go there with a plan, with a real purpose, then you're going to focus on that plan. And when things begin to diverge, when they're starting to do other stuff, you can kind of notice what's going on. You're not going to be taken away from the goal. You're focused on that when you have a plan. If you just go, you're having fun, taking soft classes, electives, going bowling, field trips, you're not going to have much of anything when you graduate. Now, what do y'all think? Okay. Am I correct, incorrect? Let me know what you think. Let me see. Have a plan in life? Exactly. Have a plan in life. Don't just go to college just for business administration, business management. That ain't going to do nothing for you. All right. So this guy, hey, my man, might be doing DoorDash pretty soon. But my man, ain't nothing wrong with that. Shout out to the DoorDashers. My man right here. But look, if you have a college degree, you spent all that money to do DoorDash, you might as well do something like that, straight out of college, and then figure it out from there. Or work, and then, okay, I have a plan, what I want to do. I want to be X, Y, and Z. Then I'm going to go get educated for that and then do that. So this guy took every order on DoorDash that he got to his phone for 12 hours straight. So let's see what he's got to say about his experience.
I just accepted every single DoorDash order for 12 hours straight. Started around 8 a.m. and ended around 9:15 p.m. on a Monday in the Virginia Beach area.
Hey, whoop, whoop, Virginia Beach. All right.
I was dashing for about 12 hours and 10 minutes. I was active for 9 hours and 56 minutes. I put 221 miles on my 2009 Subaru Forester. My earnings before taxes, wear and tear, gas, insurance, etc. was $215. My biggest tip was $14.25 from a Food Lion grocery order, and my smallest tip was $3 from a Starbucks order. And I took 30-minute breaks between 10:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. and 3:45 p.m. and 4:15 p.m. I'm tired as hell, and my car needs a tune-up badly now.
All right, so there we go. Now, I wonder how much he made. That's what I wanted to hear him say, how much he made. But yeah, man, you got to grind. You got to go hard like that. You know, it ain't nothing. I remember being out like that when I was young, especially when I was doing my design thing, and I had to go from business to business, delivering stuff, trying to sell my services. I got meetings over here, meetings over there. I'd be up at the spot 9 a.m. and I'm leaving at like 9 p.m. every day. I would do that every day. For years, I would do that every day. And then I'll be in the office working, or in the office with a meeting, or I'll be out in the street finding a new client. Sometimes we'd be in the club late at night, meeting people. Like, for years when I was young, though. But like I said before, I think I might have said it on my Instagram Live. And shout out to you guys who were on the Instagram Live last night. I appreciate y'all. But I said it before. You got to go hard with your career when you're young. So when you get to be older, you're not going as hard. You're starting to kind of relax as your body is relaxing. But you could go hard like that when you 20-something years old, because you got the energy. You still got the spark in your eyes. You can still got to, but once you get to be older, that spark starts to kind of like, it starts to dim. So go hard when you're young. Now, speaking about going hard when you're young, look at that mullet right there. That right there is a fantastic hairstyle. I'm jealous. I wish I could grow hair like that. That'd be fantastic. But here's a UPS driver talking about how much he makes. Okay. So this might be the way. Some guys, rather than going to college for business administration, should just go work. Let's watch.
How much money do you make?
So right now I'm at like 33.60, and top rate is I think like 45, 46 around there.
You've heard about the UPS layoffs, right? Can you talk about that?
They sent me something in the mail saying we'll give you 10 grand taxable if you quit right now voluntarily, and it's up to you if you want to take it. I'm not going to take it.
So what do you do for work?
I'm a UPS driver. I got started about 3 years ago. It's not a bad gig. I mean, a lot of hours if you're down with that.
How many hours per day?
I'd say on average I get off about 8 o'clock, so 9:15 to 8. But yeah, good benefits, good retirement, sets you up for the future.
How long did it take you to become a driver?
Let's see, I started in 2020 and I was a driver in 2022, but I'm a rare case. Usually it takes more than that.
COVID probably helped you a little bit.
Exactly, perfect timing with COVID.
What's your plan? Are you going to retire here? Or?
I mean, that's the plan right now. Just stick with it unless something else pops up,
Anything else you want to say about the career or anything in general?
I mean, you got to love the grind. It's all the grind.
Well, I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, got you, brother.
Right on. And they make good money. UPS drivers, they make good money, but it's not a cakewalk. It's not just simple as, whistling Dixie. You actually got to work. You got to go hard, and that's fine. That's fine because you can make good money. You get good benefits. You set yourself up for the future. So shout out to him. Shout out to him. They've always paid well. Exactly. Brando says UPS is legit. They are Teamsters. All right. So this is a grocery store in UK. And they got some things that I guess we don't have here over here in the States. I got to go over there and try some of their food. I don't want to have no bangers and mash or nothing crazy like that, but I just want to try some of their whole food, some of their meats and their vegetables and stuff like that. But I don't want no bangers and mash. I don't want no beans on my toast or nothing crazy like that. But let's watch.
Here are things in a British grocery store that would send Americans into a coma. Their eggs are never refrigerated. They're always in these containers or on shelves. Also, look at how cheap those eggs are. You just cannot get that in America. They have Frosted Flakes here, but they're not called Frosted Flakes. They're called Frosties. The tea aisle is absolutely insane to me. It is an entire aisle just dedicated to different types of teas. I didn't even know this much tea existed in the world. Also, British people love their instant coffee. I've never had an instant coffee until I moved here, and I must say it's not that good. People love to make anything into a pie. We've got steak pies, we've got chicken pies, we've got cheesy veg pies. Don't get me wrong, I love a good pie, but not everything needs to be inside of a pie. Also, British people love a cottage pie. I still don't even know what that is, but apparently it's really good. This is where things get scary, but black pudding is a staple in most people's households. What it is pig's blood, and people eat it for breakfast. The fact that this packaging says from breakfast to fine dining is absolutely absurd to me. In America, when you are picking out your fruit and vegetables, they have plastic bags for you to put them in. Here in England, you either have to pay for a bag or you just raw dog your fruit and veg in the cart. This is something I will never get on board with, but British people love their baked beans. There are so many different kinds and aisles of baked beans at the grocery store. People will eat them for breakfast, they'll eat them for lunch, they'll eat them for dinner. There's a million different brands of them. And last but not least, you have to pay for grocery bags, which I love because we're saving the planet by bringing our own. But if you're like me and forget them all the time, then you're screwed.
All right, there we go. So, yeah, the cottage pie, all of that, I'm cool on. And pig's blood, y'all eat that for real? They call that pudding. Pig's blood, y'all like that? See, that right there, I'll go ahead and pass. But once you go to the produce, now we talking. These look nice and fresh and bright and vibrant. That's more like it. The colorful actual produce. And it's okay to not have a bag because you don't really need it because you're going to wash it anyway. And it's already not in the bag right there. So what's the difference? You put it in your cart. You put it in, I call it a buggy. You put it in your cart. You put it in your bag. Ain't no big deal. You wash it off when you get home and it's fine. You can eat it.
For you to put them in.
I'm seeing ginger, fresh ginger, eggplant, all of that.
Here in England.
Okay, we got some, what's this, lettuce, cabbage? Yeah, I like it. I like what I see. But no, I'm not, the pig's blood, all of that, and the baked beans, I'm cool. I'm good on that. You can keep all that, the super British, you know what I mean? Nah. And the reason there's so much tea is because they got hooked on tea way back in the day. Ain't that what started the Opium Wars? Because they were trying to make the Indians or the Chinese, they're making the Chinese pay. They're making the Chinese buy their opium. I forget the story. Y'all gotta let me know. But I think what the story was, they made the Chinese buy their opium so they could afford to pay for the tea. Y'all let me know. American Discord says they don't allow a lot of our craft items in stores out there. Oh yeah, a lot of the food that we eat, they don't do with it at all over there. Okay, they don't really do with a lot of our food over there at all because they feel like we got a lot of chemicals in our stuff. It's just not really what they want. All right, now let's go to Germany right quick. Let's go to Germany. And this is somebody making cheap German food.
What?
I'm not sure how much it is. Let's see if they tell us. And let's see how this food looks. For some reason, I thought it's going to be like, so before I even watch, I thought it's going to be like bratwurst and stuff like that. But let's see if it's actually good.
Welcome to episode 70 of German Hausmannskost, where I make typical German food to show you how easy it is to make good food at home and to keep my grandparents' recipes. Today we are making a Bauernfrühstück, and that is translated to a farmer's breakfast. But by now you usually eat it more like a lunch than a breakfast. But in the past the farmers ate this as their second breakfast because it was really hearty and helped them to get their energy back after their hard work. And they usually used all of the things they had left from the day before, so you can use whatever you like. But most typical are potatoes, ham and onions. Cut all of that into smaller pieces and then mix some eggs with milk and season them with some salty salt and pepper. And then it's really easy to make because you only need one pan for this. And today we are using the same pan as Gordon Ramsay uses. Start by frying all of your potato slices in some butter until golden brown. And always fry a few after each other so that every potato gets these nice and roasted tastes.
Remove the potatoes and then fry some onions and also add the ham. After a while you can add in the fried potatoes, mix that a bit and then top everything with the egg mixture. Cover that so that the eggs get cooked and then top it with some parsley before you make the Qualitätskontrolle. And
that's kind of like corned beef hash. Ain't that what that is? Aside from the egg mixture on top. It's kind of like corned beef hash. Am I tripping? Ain't that what that is? It's kind of, sort of. That's kind of what that is. Now, corned beef hash back in the day was good, but I'm not. I think that's pretty similar. It probably has a similar taste. So yeah, what do y'all think? German is that like traditional German style food, or are we not really there? Now, this person says, how much pay for rent in Germany? What's your rent in Germany like?
Do you pay for rent in Germany?
300 euros. Yeah, this is the dormitory. I'm a student.
Can you show us around?
Yeah, let's go. These are our letter boxes. This is how many people live here. Let's go. I live on the 4th floor. So this is the kitchen. It's shared kitchen. It is a little dirty. We also have the microwave, which you better not look inside of. This is what the hall looks like. Men's restroom. We have 2 bathrooms and a shower. That just looks awful, I know. There are also showers at the end. And now let's go to my room.
Oh, so we got shared. That's one thing I'm not going to do is have the shared shower spaces. I'm not going to do that because some of y'all are disgusting. I mean, not you guys, but some people, no.
I have a little sink here. All my shoes are here. And this is what it looks like. I mean, it's not a big room at all.
This looks interesting.
These are the flowers that I bought for myself that are basically dying. I think this is the best part of my room because it is tiniest bit decorated. The best thing is that we have a little fridge. This is the second best part of my room. The bed is pretty small. My bookshelf, a wardrobe, which is kind of big. This is what 300 euros per month are giving me. My own private little room.
How much do you pay for rent in Germany?
300 euros. Yeah.
All right, so 300 euros, that's your room in Germany with your shared bathroom spaces, one for the men, one for the women. Would y'all do that for 300 euros out there in Germany? I mean, it's just cheap. But see, one thing about it, can I say something right now? People want affordable housing, but they don't what comes with affordable housing. They want a beautiful house to be affordable. They want a nice big McMansion to be costing $1,000 a month for rent. That's not how that works. If you want affordable housing, it'd be a spot like that has shared spaces and small and not the best. Because that's what you're going to get. I'm getting the noise. That's what you're going to get when you're starting out is that kind of situation. It's not going to be the best. Might be in the hood. Might be a little bit dangerous out there in a place where you are. It might be a little bit dangerous in the place where you're paying that much for your rent. And I still got a thunder going on. So y'all please pardon me. Like I said, that power could go out because it's been sensitive. They're working on the power lines out here, and sometimes it'll go off. So we'll see. Hopefully, I stay on for a while. 342 in US dollars. Hey, there you go. There you go. So here's my question: if you guys want rent that's that cheap, would you live in a spot like that with the shared bathroom spaces here in the USA? Y'all let me know. How much? Now this guy's in Houston, Texas. How much is he paying for rent? Okay, now I'm seeing, what's this, a Hellcat? Oh boy, he's going to be big baller, perhaps. Let's see.
How much do you pay for rent in Houston?
I pay about $2,300 a month.
Could we take a tour?
That's not too bad.
Yeah. Welcome fancy apartments to my crib. This apartment is about 733 square feet. I would describe the style of my apartment as modern.
It's kind of high for such a small apartment, but it looks bigger because of the high ceilings.
About 733 square feet. I would describe the style of my apartment as modern. Using the black and white aesthetic kind of fits me. I make it feel like home by incorporating things like the arcade system. I'm hosting social gatherings with friends and family. All right, so here's my kitchen area. Make some good food for friends and family. My favorite thing in my apartment is my living room because it's a peaceful area I go to after a long day of work. Here is where I'm undefeated. My arcade machine. If anybody thinks they can beat me, I'm more than open to play. And then we have a beautiful view here of the highway. hallway. This is my room. This is where I sleep and lay my head. I'm a big gamer for all my Xbox people out there. And then you'll come into my closet. This is where we get fly, put on the drip and look clean. So one of the things that are really important to me is shoes. I have a whole bunch of shoes here. And then you'll come here to my bathroom area. Really consistent.
Nice bathroom. It's a big space for such a small space.
Black and white aesthetic. Starting to think black is my favorite color. The amenities that we have here is the indoor pool, a gym, dog park, bike storage area, and an outdoor chess area.
All right, there we go. So that's the difference between 300 and 2,300. Okay, in Germany versus the USA. Obviously, you get a lot more amenities for paying such money. It appears to be a nice area. No shared bathroom spaces and whatnot, but you paying for it. People want that kind of apartment to be $800 like it was maybe 20 years ago, but that ain't gonna happen no more. Those days are over with. Here's something else I want to say. A lot of younger people especially, they are working jobs that pay more than what they paid for people back in the day, but it's still the same job. So ultimately, you're pretty much going to get what you could get, what you could have got back then for doing the same work. So, for example, yes, there's inflation, but your pay is also inflated. In some cases, it's matching inflation. In some cases, it's not. But ultimately, you're getting paid more than what you get paid back in the day. And you are also paying more for the same thing. The apartment that you want the price before inflation to be the price now with your inflated salary. That ain't how that works at all. And you still got to put in the same level of work to get the same type of results you would have got back then. Oh, and then to go back to the corned beef hash thing, this right here is corned beef hash. So it looks similar to what she did, except for it wasn't the milky egg stuff on top. And somebody said it, you cringe whenever they show the eggs. I can't. But that right there, that's corned beef hash. Now that is good eating. If you've not had that, especially like if you get corned beef hash, you got to get it fresh. They got it in the cans and stuff like this, but that ain't really gonna give you the full thing. Get it fresh made in a pan like this in somebody's grandma's house, and you're gonna love it. Matter of fact, I want some corned beef hash right now. I've not had it in years. Definitely a good dish. Shout out to the corned beef hash. Shout out to the Germans and whatever they got going on. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Mike A says, $2,300 a month. That's way above the average American budget. Well, maybe above the average American budget, but that's not necessarily for the average American. It's in Houston, Texas. So the pay in Houston is going to be above what the average American makes as well. These big cities where you got these places, it's for a certain kind of person that lives in those cities. It is what it is. Hey, beans, the canned stuff is good. I ain't going to hold you now because I ain't going to be bougie. That's what we used to eat back in the day when it wasn't, home cooked, the canned stuff. But the homemade is always better than the can. Always. The homemade, when you got a good cook, is always going to be better than the canned stuff all day long. All right. But let's keep on rocking. AKM says rent has gone up 50% since 2020 and wages have gone up 8%. That's not going to cover the difference. Well, I'm not sure that's correct as far as 50%. I think maybe that it depends on where you are as far as how far the rent has gone up. 50%, I'm not quite sure that's true. It just depends on where you are. That's the main thing. It depends on where you are. All righty. Let's see. We got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Apu says, Senator Chuck Schumer says that black people will be prevented from voting if voter ID laws go into effect. What's your response, ABL? How can the communitized continue to support this racist party? I mean, it's crazy, man. Listen, I'll put it to you this way, Apu. I'm going to tell you this. If someone can't vote because they have no ID, if someone cannot vote because they have no ID, then they shouldn't vote. Because if you don't care enough to get ID, then what do you know about politics at all? If you don't care to even get your ID card and move around as a regular citizen, then how would you know anything about politics at all? You're not going to know anything about politics at all. Thank you to Apple again, who says, ABL, did you see that story of Candace Taylor, millionaire entrepreneur, busted for using COVID funds to buy herself a Lamborghini? What's your response? Typical. It always happens, man. People, a lot of these scammers try to get over on the system. And the thing is, if you want to scam somebody, it shouldn't be the feds. You shouldn't scam anybody. Okay? But scamming the feds, you got to be the dumbest person on planet Earth because they're going to catch you. Thank you to Apple again, who says, kudos to U.S. Marine Corps vet Matthew Kolakowski and Derek Perry. Matthew rammed a shopping cart into the knife bad guy, and Derek drew with CCW. Right on. Shout out to them. Thank you to Smart RN1, who says, ABL, how did the only man trained and armed and whose only job was protecting that building get smoked first? That's your whole career. Protection from a person with a rifle. Well, he probably got caught off guard. And I understand that he should be on guard, but that just tells you how you are your own protection. When things fall apart, when there's danger, you are your only protection. Having a cop right there is kind of a false sense of security. They can protect you to a certain extent, but they're kind of a scarecrow. They're there to be a deterrent. They can jump into action. They can save the day. But if the gunman barges in and starts shooting and he gets hit, what happens? Now you're on your own. So that's why I always tell people, you got to be able to defend yourself at all times. Thank you to Apple again, that says, ABL, comment, Republican counselor set on fire in Virginia. I don't know what's going on with that. I saw that story. I'm kind of not really touching it because why did that happen? Let me see if I can find that story right quick. Hold on. Why? Was it random? Who did that? Why? I have just so many questions. Okay, so I'm going to read some of this here. It says, Virginia City Councilman doused with gasoline and set on fire in horrific workplace attack. Suspect arrested. Suspect allegedly poured a 5-gallon bucket of gasoline on Lee Vogler before setting him ablaze. My question is, how do you pour 5 gallons of gasoline on somebody? As soon as the first droplet hits my forehead, we're going to be fighting to the bitter end. I'm going to smell the gas. How are you going to pour that on my head? At work? It just is so, I don't really understand. Hold on. And that's not him. That's the magazine owner. Let me see if I can just play this video.
Hi, I'm Andrew Brooks. I am the publisher and owner of Showcase Magazine. Today, our coworker Lee Vogler was attacked in our office. An individual forced his way into our office carrying a 5-gallon bucket of gasoline and poured the gasoline on Lee. Lee attempted to flee, ran to the front of the building. The individual followed him and set him on fire. Lee identified his attacker as a man named Shotzi Buck. We don't know if that's his real
So he knows him.
name or a nickname. Lee is awake and talking and en route to the burn center in Lynchburg. Our hearts and prayers are with him. Everyone here at Showcase, we don't even really know what to say. We're cooperating with the police.
So the councilman worked, because he's a local guy, not like one of these people that go to DC. He worked at the magazine. So while he's at work, someone forces their way into his job, has a 5-gallon bucket of gas, pours it on him. He tries to flee, and the guy sets him on fire. And apparently he knew him, Because he said he identified him and called him and said his name.
Associate publisher is currently being interviewed by the police at the police station. This type of senseless act of violence has to stop. You do not have the right as a human being to get upset with someone enough to lash out and attempt to harm them in any way, much less this way.
Okay, so that was that. Let me see if I can put some more up here. I'm going to just read some of this. So the guy in Danville. Okay, Danville. I got some family in Danville. Shout out to Danville. Danville City Council member Lee Volger was working in the Showcase magazine office at about 11 a.m. local time when Shotzi Michael Buck Hayes, 29, of Danville, allegedly forced his way into the building carrying a 5-gallon bucket of gasoline. And according to Danville and the guy we just saw from Showcase magazine, police said Hayes poured the gasoline on Volger as he tried to run to the front of the building and lit him on fire. He was charged with attempted first-degree murder and aggravated malicious wounding. According to officials, he's being held in the Danville City Jail without bond. Danville is very small, so I'm sure he knew the guy. Is that him right there? Okay, that's the guy. That's the councilman. And that's the other guy. What do y'all think? Give me your opinion. What do y'all think happened here? So, Volger reportedly identified Hayes during the attack, helping authorities make a quick arrest after Hayes allegedly fled the scene. Hayes was stopped a few blocks away and taken into custody without incident. Based on the investigation, at the time of the press release, the victim and suspect are known to each other, and the attack stems from a personal matter not related to the victim's position on Danville City Council or any other political affiliation. So this was two people that knew each other. It wasn't a random attack. So when I first saw it, I'm like, so now we know a little bit more. They knew each other, and this was something between them. Boyfriend spat. That's what I said, because I'm looking at these guys. First of all, I'm looking at him. Okay, you can see what's going on here, and this is the victim, and here is the actual the suspect, the arsonist. So that's what that sounds like. Gay lovers spat. That's what that sounds like. Okay, let me see if there's more here. Not really much. You're talking about his history, all this, that, and the third. But I'll tell you one thing. Danville is very small. So they 100% knew each other, like they said, and they probably had an intimate relationship that kind of went sour, and that's what happened. And again, how do you allow somebody to pour that much gasoline on you? As soon as he comes in there, if I know him and I see his look on his eye, I'm in immediate fight mode ASAP, because I know that there could be danger if I was in their shoes. So, yeah, man, hopefully he makes a full recovery. He didn't die, so hopefully he makes a full recovery, but that's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. All right, there's more. Super chats. Thank you to Papa Knight Charlie, who says, thank you for speaking on how American truckers got shafted because Biden flooding the market with foreign visas, creating cheap labor, getting them out. Exactly. 100%, man. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you to Leo Mazzino, who says, I think Swalwell to challenge Tyrus has said. That'd be funny. Leo Mazzino also says, genes, with the jeans emoji, not genes as in genetics, liberals, and American Eagle. Thank you to Beans for becoming a member of the ABL squad. Thank you to Marta Allen for being a supporter, and says, I don't believe that man deserves to get ganged up. Well, I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. So all I know is I don't know. It just looks really bad on that video of the Cincinnati attack. Smooth Artist says, guys, please just learn AI. It's coming, whether y'all like it or not. Better to learn it and be ahead of the curve than be left behind. I 100% agree with you, Smooth Artist. You need to adapt to it. It's like, okay, people don't always like change, but change is inevitable. At one point in time in society, we were 90% agrarian, which meant 90% of the country were farmers, worked on farms, did something with their farm. That's what we did. 90% of the country at one point was agrarian, but now it's not like that. Times change, and you got to adapt to the times. What's happening right now is that the AI is making a lot of our jobs very easy. I have a lot of stuff. Look, I have Gemini, I have Grok, I have Venice, and I have Meta AI. I use all of those to help me with what I do on the internets. And I do other things. It helps with that as well. It's really just a tool that we can use. We, at this point, are in control of it. And I think that we need to keep it under control and have it work for us. Make our lives easier. Have us to be able to generate more revenue for ourselves. I don't think it's going to replace humans. I think it'll just help us do certain things better. Like my man at the beginning, not at the beginning, but my man earlier talking about some, oh, well, I got my Meta lenses and I was able to diagnose this AC unit or whatever. I'm like, bro, you just have a better diagnostic tool at your disposal. That does not mean that AI is taking your job, because somebody still got to do it. I'm not going out there messing with no 240 volt. I'm not going out there messing with no compressors and coolants. I'm good, bro. That's your job as the AC, as the HVAC tech. That's your job, not mine. You have better tools to help you do your job, but ultimately it's still your job, and it's not going no time soon. Brett Dye says, "Oh, it will." I mean, hey, one day you could wake up and there's an android that is human. Okay, well, if that happens, then get your guns ready, because you got to go in the Matrix pod. Until then, I'm gonna use it because it's here. If I don't use it, I get left behind. So what's the alternative? To just try to ignore it? That ain't really how it works. Polka Dot Suzanne says, what is Meta? Facebook. So, Meta, that's a company that owns Facebook and Instagram. They have their own AI called Meta AI. And you could do a lot of things on there. And it's free. Yeah, it's free. Grok is with Twitter or X. And I'm not sure if it's free because I pay for the subscription to Twitter. It might be free. Venice is free, but they also have a paid version. And what's the other one I use? Gemini. That's free, but I have a paid version. Yeah. So, hey, man, because I don't want to get left behind, I got to just adapt. And I've been here before. When I was trying to hold on to my old precious little BlackBerry with the full screen, with the full keyboard, I'm trying to hold on to it for forever. But at a certain point, I had to go adopt, just like y'all. Y'all had your iPhones forever. I ain't had my first iPhone until 2022 because I was trying to hold on to the old technology. But if I don't adapt to what's happening right now, if I don't press forward, I'll be left behind. At one point, we had CD players in our car. Remember that? You had a visor with the CDs in it, and you put it in your car. I had at one point a big book. I had 300 CDs in a book that I would put into my 6-disc CD changer. Now, ain't no CD changer. Ain't no CDs at all. Everything's streaming. Everything's Apple Play and Android Auto. Times have changed. Some of y'all still got CDs. That's fine. But if you want a new car, you're not getting the CD player. That's just how times have changed. Simple. All right. We got some calls on that. Let's get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. The number is in a ticker at a certain point. There it is, right on time. 706-406-3287. And the number is always in the description box below. Yeah, AMG. I pay for music. I pay for my. You know what's funny about YouTube Music? YouTube Music is the best because if you pay for YouTube Red to not have ads on the video, you also pay for YouTube Music. So it works perfectly. You get that as a bonus, really. I will pay YouTube Red to just not have ads on YouTube. But I get music also with that for free. Why not? Why not? Unknown caller on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Unknown caller. That's who I am. Hi.
Okay, man. What's going on?
Yeah. So, it's really bad how some prime ministers or presidents, even if it's previous presidents, they're paying, it's probably old news to some people, but for scoffers in the comment section, there's a lot of people that don't know, and if the scoffers in the comment section don't like what I'm saying, it's because they're probably poverty pimps that are benefiting from the destruction of our country and our nation, our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That's why they're scoffing. But remember, Tesla and Einstein were scoffed at as well, and when you're ahead of your time or you're in the know, like people who knew about the scamdemic coming before it even got here, and just like the many channels that were taken off of this, off of YouTube, you know, people made fun. But if they have memories with eyes to see and ears to hear, like that former police, former military guy that's a Christian, I like him, he understood what I was saying last time. They appreciate truth. But those who hate God and his son Jesus and hate truth, they're behind the destruction of our nation. They want nothing good. They work for the devil because they're children of the devil. A lot of presidents and prime ministers, they're paying these so-called refugees, I call them economical refugees, over $80,000 just to choose to move into the country. $80K for the wife, $80K for the husband, computer laptops for everybody in the house, brand new bicycle, brand new everything. 5-star hotel. If I want to go to Florida and see Mickey Mouse, I got to pay much money for a hotel. I got to pay enough money to go see Mickey and Minnie Mouse in Disneyland or Disney World. These guys come here, they get free 5-star hotel, movie passes. They only have to claim that in their country they're a rocket scientist, doctor, and an engineer. They only have to claim they drive in their country, and they skip the line through hoops and valleys of graduated license driving before they get what we have to work and pay mad cash into for the government money grab under the false pretense of safety, which is if you go through graduated license driving, you end up being a better driver. That's proven to be a load of a bunch of baloney. So when we're proposed of paying four more new taxes, it's to pay for the choices of the reckless. I call them cockroaches or termites because they come in the house and they tear everything down at your expense, which is why they don't care. But there was a country back on or about the year 2007, and when they said enough is enough of these, they're allowed to stay as long as they pay. All the economic terrorists ran away. And that was the end of that. People were happy. There was room on the sidewalk. No more triple-wide SUV strollers. No more waiting 30 days to be seen by a specialist. It was back down to just 5 or 10 days. No more traffic. It was beautiful. So when you look at the before and the after, you can obviously see, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear and common sense, who the problems are. Who creates the problem and the damage in this place. And they're paid to get pregnant for a living. They're paid to damage everything. And it's madness how you got to be a part of a category. You got to be an alphabet person to get a job. You got to look a certain way like you got your marble shook. You got to be unintelligent, not unwell-spoken, backwards talking. You got to be some kind of a racial stereotype or a real kundamuno. You can't be like ABL. You can't be smart, intelligent, well-spoken, insightful, pretty wise for the most part, typically, usually. No one's perfect. We all make mistakes, but which would lead me to my next topic.
No. Thank you for the call, man. Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
All right. Good night.
It was like, it's like, oh, and my next topic, it's like, no, thank you for your call. You got to land that plane. He was like, nah, I'm going to just go ahead and fly for a little bit longer. It's like, sir, you're at Hartsfield Jackson. Go ahead and land right now. No, I'm going to go ahead and go to Dallas Fort Worth, man. I got a few more. I'm going to fly for a little bit longer. Shout out to my man. I appreciate thank you for the call. But the number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287 is the call. Is the number to call. All righty. Shout out to him. And I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. And y'all know that. All right. Yeah, but shout out to the Islanders, all the accents and everything. It's all good. So, yeah, we flying to China. We ain't stopping no time soon. We are not going nowhere. You want to speak to 210? You're on the line.
Hello, ABL. This is like my first time giving a call. I've watched your podcast so many times for like, I'd say about probably like 3 or 4 straight years. I get that people get nervous, like on like trying to like give a call on your podcast from your last stream, and I could be a little bit relatable, but sometimes you gotta like fight the fear and just be brave to like give a call. So I feel that. Yeah, but going back to like, new cars, you're not gonna find like cars with like cassette tapes or like CD players no more in today's world.
Mm-mm.
It's just pretty much Apple or YouTube Music or anything that's like not old digital media. So, I do appreciate the old stuff because I have 4 Sony PVMs. I preserve the old stuff. So, but that's all I can really say. But I do appreciate your podcast and keep doing the great work that you put out there.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. And shout out to all you guys watching. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. And the number to call, again, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. The number is always in the ticker right there on the bottom of the screen and also in the description. All right. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Yeah, I know how it is when you call in and you get nervous. I've been there, done that. When I was young, calling some of these shows, heart beating like this is crazy. 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, what's up, ABL? The combination of Hami Malay and Anton LaVey. How's it going, guys? And hello to the chat. How's your day?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Oh, not much. I know that a few times that people have called, they start asking about the Epstein list, and you keep on saying you don't know too much about the Epstein list. Well, we don't got too much evidence on the Epstein list. They said there's a list, but we can't find it. Oh, they say they are. I don't know. Usually some of the YouTubers, and I think this is one of the reasons why you don't report on it, because all of it is just like hypotheticals. It really is. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
And just because somebody's on a list doesn't mean that they're a suspect for like Epstein or they mention on the files. You have to realize Epstein blackmailed other people besides involving sex or anything with minors. So it could be a number of things. Hell, I mean, back in the 90s, Epstein was in the it crowd. Nobody knew what he was doing at the time. Of course, he was going to be blending into the most richest to, scam and stuff like that. So, hey, I really appreciate you taking my phone call. I really appreciate it. And thank you very much for letting me get my 2 cents in, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. Enjoy the show. Thank you.
All right, shout out to the caller. But yeah, a lot of hypothetical, a lot of kind of clickbaity type of stuff. I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that because I hate it when I see it. So I don't like it at all. Anything that has to do any kind of if it's any kind of clickbait, kind of rage bait, anything that's close to that, I want to stay far away from 100%. So we'll see, man. Like, hey, about Epstein. Now, what I'm seeing is mostly the left talk about Epstein. The mainstream media talk about, we saw Eric Swalwell benching 135 pounds talking about Jeffrey Epstein. It's like, man, come on. Like, it's become something else other than, and really I kind of saw this coming because once people kept pressing for it and there wasn't nothing there and they were starting to get upset, I already knew that they were going to take this angle as far as the left. I already saw it coming. Yeah, that was pretty clear to me what's going to go on with that. 778, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, I'd like to speak to Anthony Brian Logan, please.
You're on the line right now, and do me a big favor. Turn some more from the background for me.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You can hear the fan there?
It was just a matter of the noise from the podcast, but you're good.
Okay, cool. Well, am I live right now?
You're live right now.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, well, I just wanted to say that I've been subscribed to your channel for some time now, a few years, and although I don't catch every video, I always glean a lot from your streaming, from your posts. I think you do a really good job, and just wanted to say thank you for being such a great news provider.
Well, thank you for the support, man. You know I couldn't do it without you.
Of course, bro. Yeah, and I've seen you out in the field as well, and the questions you ask and the content you put out is fantastic. I learn a lot, and I appreciate your candor, your honesty, and definitely your integrity. Like, I love the no cursing thing that you got going for sure.
Thank you for that, man. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for your call.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Have a great day.
Same to you.
Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, man, I just try to keep that really clean approach because I feel like you can express yourself without using curse words. And that's always a great way to convey a message because I'm not trying to police language, but I think that it's important to keep your language clean to get your message out. Your line's speaking to 617.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Ain't too much, man. What's happening?
What's happening? Hey, I'm sure by now you know that the issue with immigration is not about deportation and all that stuff. You know, it's not about that, right?
What is it about?
Well, it's about numbers and business.
Okay, explain.
Well, number one is remember that he has Trump has a huge ego, and everything he has to he position himself as being better than Obama. And Obama ended up deporting 3.1 million illegal immigrants, so he wants to surpass that number. That's one thing, because it's not about illegal immigration. It never was about illegal immigration, because otherwise he won't exempt certain industries for being either raided or being deported for the workers. I mean, you can't say, well, I deport this, but I'm not going to deport people that work in farms because I don't want to destroy farmers' business.
Well,
I don't want to do this and this, but I don't want to deport people that work in hotels because I want to...
Wait. From the beginning, he said that they're going to focus on the criminal aliens, correct?
Well, how do you know that the people that work in hotels are criminals?
From the beginning, he said he is focusing on criminal aliens, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
So, but how do you know that people that work on those farms, we don't have criminals working there?
Because
how do you know that people that we have in the hotels that are not criminals?
Excuse me. Okay.
How do you know
okay,
that?
I'll stop talking. I'll answer your question. Stop talking. I'm gonna just mute you. Now we're talking about those that have actually have records. Okay, you talking about guys like Kim Arbergo Garcia who already had a record. Guys like the one I showed earlier who was getting arrested who were already been convicted of crimes. So that's what we're focusing on. Those people.
That's just not true. They're reporting every single thing that is moving. If you go to, if you've been in
But wait a minute. Wait. You just said. Wait. No. You just said. Excuse me, sir. You just said that he gave exemptions to certain industries. Now you're saying. Excuse me. You just said he's giving exemptions to certain industries, and now you're saying he is deporting everything moving. So which one is it?
No, because this is the difference. He need to have those numbers. The number that they want to deport, they want to arrest is 7,000 a day. So what they're doing, they're going through neighborhoods and removing people out of the neighborhoods. They are not going to the actual farms. They're not going to the actual hotels. They're not going to the actual factories of food production because he said it himself, I don't want to destroy their businesses. He said it himself.
But see, look, that's why this is why you're not good at what you do. This is why I'm gonna talk and you're not gonna be able to be heard. This is why you're not good at what you do, because you said first that he's deporting everything moving. Now you're saying he's giving attention to the restaurants and the farms and the hotels and this, that, and the third, and he's going in neighborhoods and arresting them. Meanwhile, a lot of those who are in the neighborhoods are the criminals, like the Viet guy, like Kilmar, like everybody else. How many? What's the percentage of those who are being deported who have criminal records? Do you know? Yes or no?
Yeah, I know, 15% of them.
Where'd you get that number?
Well, from the FBI. The FBI said himself only 15%. Actually,
now,
the alligator, where they have the alligator thing, the detention center, the numbers are less than 8%. People that have criminal records.
Okay, now how'd you find that? No. Okay, you gave me the number. You gave me the number. Now let me ask you a question. No. Because when you do that, when you try to overtalk, it's because you don't want me to actually. When you overtalk, because I'm gonna just keep talking and can't nobody hear you. I can't hear you either. But when you overtalk, that's you trying to prevent a follow-up question that would debunk your argument. So here's the question I have for you about those numbers. Where did you actually see them? Like, can you cite something? Was it I'm not done with the question. Stop talking, sir. Now, the question is, did you see it in a news report? Was it on the government website? Was it on the blog?
Website? Go to the FBI, the Federal Bureau Investigation website.
Okay, and
I'm going to move on because
no. See, look, okay, see, I don't believe you because you're trying to skip past it. You're trying to talk over me, so I don't believe you. So I think you just made that up. But go ahead.
So
your next point. Go ahead.
Why they doing what they're doing?
Go ahead.
Okay. The second reason that they're denying actually bonds for when they are arresting some undocumented or even people that have green card, but they might have like something like a drone driving, right? And they arrest them and they put in an ICE facility and then denying them bonds. Is because the contract. So that means, I'm sure you studied during the drug war in America, right? The private prison system. I'm sure you are aware of that, right?
What about it?
So they're doing the same exact thing, but they're doing with the immigrants now. So what they're doing, actually, this company called GEO Group. The GEO Group, you could check it out. Got a contract for over $10 billion.
To do
$10 billion to build facilities. If you look at the stock price of that company, was $14. Now it's at $37. So this is a business transaction, and also they're deporting. But this is not really about immigration. This is about numbers. This is like, okay, arrest the most that I can, even people with green card that have not even a felony, they might have a drunk driving situation. We'll deport him. We make the numbers. We surpass Obama, and I look like especially now that I need a distraction from the Epstein files, Jesse Epstein files. He need a huge distraction. I'm sure he's hoping for something terrible to happen, so he could distract from that for the issue with the immigration. And I'm sure he's hoping somebody gets killed, so he could distract you from that. He tried Obama, didn't work. He tried Hillary, didn't work. What else he tried? What other thing he said? I mean, he been saying some crazy stuff, but nothing is working. But again, this is not about immigration itself. This is about deportation numbers. Hello?
I'm listening to you. So
okay, that's all what I want to tell you. So I want you to know this is about contracts. This is about money making.
Okay, you made your point. Thank you for the call.
Okay, all right. So I want you to tell that to your audience.
No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good because that's just you. Listen. You're not a source. You're not a news source. I don't trust you. I don't trust nobody. Just tell me something and say, hey, just tell that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop talking because all that screaming and hollering and trying to overtalk me ain't gonna work. Because guess what? Watch this.
Have a good night, man.
Watch this. See, look. Now you can't. Now nobody hears you. That's funny how that works. He hung up. He's hilarious. He'll say something, just shout it out, and then when you want to try to retaliate, man, funny guy. All right. Let's keep on going here. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. 740, you know who I'm speaking to.
Hey, it's Jeff from West Virginia. Ivan, since we know you're listening, every person, every illegal alien that is deported is a criminal. It's literally in the name illegal alien. It is illegal to cross that border into the United States.
Exactly, 100% correct.
That's it. So, boy, you didn't leave me a lot of material tonight, ABL. I don't know what to joke about. You got a bunch of people lit on fire, stabbed up, shot up, beat up. It's like, might as well do a comedy routine on September 11th, man. But, you know, I guess I could talk about the people in Arkansas that you put a little video out on. You got to really thank you, people of Arkansas, because you're really making West Virginia, you know, to that 48th spot, and I really want you to know I appreciate that. You know, I figure they probably named that place Whites Only Arkansas. It's like, this is Whites Only Arkansas. That way the Jews and the liberals at the ACLU can't sue us. You can come down here and shop at Whites Only Grocery, Whites Only Laundry, and all that. It's yeah. What do you think they do for fun in Whites Only Arkansas?
Hey man, that's a great question. Like, what would they do in the Whites Only? We playing horseshoe, cornhole. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I can tell you exactly what we don't do in Whites Only Arkansas to have fun, and that is Mexican drugs like marijuana or fentanyl. We get stoned like our ancient ancestors by huffing premium gasoline and drinking moonshine. I'll tell you what else we do for fun. We scour the community all week long for gay and Jewish propaganda and books from agitators like Thomas Sowell. And then we light a big bonfire and have a guy named Klaus who can speak German read Mein Kampf by that firelight. It's a big time, everybody.
Sounds about white to me.
Say what?
Sounds about white to me.
That's it. So if you're in a state where they won't let you marry who you want, and you're looking around and you see all kind of people of ambiguous origin, like in West Virginia, New Hampshire, you load your sister up in your 1986 pickup truck, and you come on down to Whites Only, Arkansas, where we see holy matrimony as the same thing we see everything else. If it's white, it's right. Well, I just thought I'd call in, kind of laugh with you a little bit. Man, I hope things get better and all this stabbing and burning people alive quit, though, man. This ain't very fun, is it?
No fun at all.
All right. Well, like I say, just remind, next time Ivan calls in, just remind him, literally, it's illegal to cross that border. So,
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. We'll talk to you next time, ABL. Bye, man.
All righty. All right. Shout out to my man from West Virginia. Always a great call. And shout out to you guys for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. The number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. All righty. Can y'all believe it? It's almost August. What's it? Tomorrow, right? Or Friday. Yeah, Friday, August 1st. Crazy. Hey, it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be super hot in August. Get ready. It is gonna be hot. It is gonna be hot. Hopefully we get some more rain, man. Like that, I miss the that heat dome stuff, 110, all that, man. I can't do nothing with it. And for you guys out there in the desert area, I don't know how you survive. I don't know how you breathe in that air. You can breathe, but you can't breathe. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like a rotisserie chicken in Costco or something like this. Just bacon. It's not very pleasant. 612, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
To Barb.
All righty, what's going on?
Oh, I just wanted to see how Anthony felt about everything going on in Minnesota with politics and people being voted in that believe in communism and people that have been resettled here for asylum. They fear persecution, but yet they go back to their home country for 6 months out of the year.
Okay, well, this is me talking right now. So this is Anthony right now talking, but also about Minnesota. It might be too far gone in some of these places because they've allowed it to happen. The leadership have allowed it to happen to where it's just kind of being overtaken by a different culture, like Minneapolis.
Right.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you come to a new place, you need to adapt to the culture of that place rather than bringing your own. That's what I would.
And try to assimilate.
Yeah, try to assimilate. It don't matter what color you are or nothing. You come to a place and they got a culture, you just abide by that. When the Rome do is the Romans. But when you don't, that's when you have problems because the cultures are going to clash. I can't hear you.
Yes, yes. Well, that's what I'm saying is I wish somebody would look more into our state and what's going on. And how can you seek asylum and stay here when you go back to your own country for 6 months out of the year? Are they not fearing for their life anymore?
That's a really good question. That's a very good question. I feel like it's come over here, they take advantage of our system, and they say, oh, well, I'm fleeing persecution, I'm afraid. No. You're just over here for money. You're over here to take a piece of the American pie away from the American people.
Yes, and they have committed crimes with fraudulent programs, with autism, with food, with child care, and it doesn't seem that, anything is being done.
I agree.
So, what can we do? What can our state do? You say we're too far gone, but there's still some of us that, want to see something done.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what can be done because it's already happened. So I don't know what can be done to reverse it. The cat's out the bag. How you get the cat back in the bag? I don't really know the answer to that question.
All right. Well, thank you for your time and your insight.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's keep on rocking here. Let's go to 215 hit online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, hey, Anthony. How's everything going?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Hey, I know you saw. So I saw your video. I don't know if it was on your Uncle ABL channel. Yeah, it had to be your Uncle ABL channel. Basically, when you were saying that Dr. Umar Johnson, pretty much the whole internet saying the exact same thing. And I've been thinking this years ago, like, dude, just go get a job.
Yeah, for real. For real. Because Umar, and the thing about Umar, I don't understand how people still give this guy money, because I thought that we on the internet, we, the influencers, destroyed him back in 2016 when he first was really having some problems. Or even before then. This has been going on for a decade plus. I remember that video he first put out in 2010 about the FDMG Academy. 2014, he starts to get donations. 2016, we knew it was fake. But now it's like people that did not get that message, and they were still giving the money the whole time. I was shocked to hear about that. But now we got to go through the same thing over again to tell everybody this guy is fake. He's a fraud. You're 50 years old. It's been 15 years. You claim to be this big, important guy, the Prince of Pan-Africanism. You the Prince of Panhandling. You the Prince of piss poor performance. Is what you are. You ain't no Prince of Pan-Africanism. So it's crazy to see all this stuff going on, but I guess we got to reinform the public about what's really happening, because not everyone got the message the first time around.
Yeah, cause I remember when I first was introduced to him a few years ago. It's crazy because I want to say this: all these interviews he's been on the Breakfast Club, he got paid for some of those interviews, I would assume, right?
Well, some guys don't get paid. Like Umar, I would not be surprised if he did all of that for free, because he's from an old school mentality where you would just do a podcast for free. Like normally when I go on a podcast, it's for free, but that's why I don't do a lot of podcasts. I would not go all over the country, all over the world doing podcasts for free. But yeah, he probably did.
Go ahead.
But he probably did.
Yeah, because that makes sense if you don't get paid for the podcast, because it's like you're getting, because it's really for attention and publicity. But the fact that they said back in 2016 he got $400,000, and they say he managed to purchase a building. Now he got a whole decade is taking you to get people to fix it, all this other stuff. I'm like, 10 years? I don't know. It's either two things. He's either way in over his head, or I think he's just spending all the money. And now the fact that he said, the way he told that last story in that last video, is where he can't access his bank account, they freeze his bank account. First of all, you get an email from the bank, and you can call the bank, and y'all could get that squared out literally less than 30 minutes.
The thing about Umar is that he never had a plan. It's like what I was saying earlier about going to college. You got to have a plan before you go. So he put that video out in 2010 talking about, I'm going to have the FDMG Academy. Okay, what's your plan? Just to get donations and do what with it? All he was able to do was buy some abandoned buildings. That's it. Okay, you got some bandos. What you going to do with the bandos? He bought the abandoned buildings for $400,000. Now, it's going to take probably quadruple that to get these buildings into working condition. So do you have that kind of money? And then once you get the buildings in working condition, what are you going to do to staff them? There's no plan there. And people are just so silly. They don't understand this. But I saw that, like I said, years ago.
Yeah, and I'm not going to take up too long, but yeah, it's like that kind of stuff, like a school, that takes almost millions of dollars to run. Because like you said, staffing and make sure the buildings are up to code. It's just one person doing that. And plus 400,000. I figure if he would have kept getting the donations, I would assume he would have kept putting it towards the school consistently and had it up and running. But my personal opinion, I think he was just incompetent, or he was just out spending the money and just living lavish.
Basically a bum, just spending money, living lavish, but also it's a little bum living with his mama at 50 years old.
Oh, Jesus. And he has kids he's not taking care of, or he's not really in their life.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
Oh, God. All right. Well, thanks for taking my call, ABL.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. You have a good one.
Same to you. All right. Shout out to my man for calling. Great call. Let's go to, I had one right there. 931, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, hello. This is your friend Casey in Tennessee. I heard you talking about earlier tonight, and I've heard other people mention as well, how it's not easy to get on the air with you, and you just get more and more nervous every single time. You can definitely get nervous, and I don't understand how you can do it, ABL. I'm so surprised that you're able to do it every single week. My goodness. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm listening to you. But yeah.
Okay.
yeah. But the thing is, I've always been the kind of person that would speak in front of people without being nervous. I've always been like that since I've been little. So for me, it's just regular. I like talking. I like being able to educate people. So it's just like my regular thing. But if it's kind of abnormal for you, it can be difficult because you're kind of like in an uncomfortable position. You're out of your comfort zone.
Well, I'm a shy person. Basically, I always have been. But anyway, I'll just make it kind of make it short, snappy, if I can. Something that I was thinking about, something you had mentioned earlier when you were talking about, we were talking about looking at people going to college and everything, and maybe having a goal, that sort of thing set. When I did go to school, it's been several years ago now. When I was in high school, I had a goal set as far as studying to possibly be a journalist or something like that, something along those lines. Maybe being a DJ or something like that. That was something I had in mind. Had set to maybe get money to maybe get a loan to go to college and stuff, and it didn't work out that way. And I felt like a failure for several years. And then I thought, well, my life did not go in that direction. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Things are so terrible for me. And it turned out that I am a mother of a special needs child, and if I had spent all that money and gotten that degree and possibly gone into a career on the radio or something like that, I would have had to completely throw that aside to be a 24/7 parent to a nonverbal child with autism and Down syndrome.
Right.
And you talk about a big waste of money. And I would have no idea. I mean, I had no idea whatsoever back then that that's what would have happened. And choosing between those two things, this being the full-time parent and having that job, having that career, there's just no choice between those two things. Which also makes me think about, when you were talking about as far as AI replacing certain jobs and everything, that's one job that can never be replaced by AI.
That's right, absolutely. It can never replace because you got to be a human. You got to be a human being to really understand the needs of another human being. So for sure.
Yeah, and there's just some jobs that cannot be replaced. Period. That will never be able to be replaced.
Absolutely.
Yeah, certainly. So anyway, that was my call, and thank you very much.
Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, love you, ABL.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. All right, let's go to 304. You're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's your favorite Georgia/West Virginia boy. How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
It's been a while since I called, man. I don't know if you remember me, but I just wanted to tell you a quick little story about a illegal immigrant that I knew once. All I knew him by was Mexican Frankie, but he came here. He told me his whole story about how him and his family, crossed the Rio Grande and like the whole journey and everything. Once he got here, I'm pretty sure he got fake documentation and stuff, but he had a real job. He had a tax-paying job. He worked for a construction company for the longest time, running like a bobcat and stuff. But anyways, he had cancer also. And he actually got married here. He had a wife in Mexico as well. So he had a wife here and he had a wife in Mexico. And he would send most of his money back to Mexico. And he actually got his cancer cured here. And basically the years that he spent here, he built like... basically, when he went back to Mexico, he was going to live like a king. He built a whole giant mansion, a whole bunch of land, just sending the money that he earned here back to there. And then, like I said, he got his cancer cured, and in the meantime, he was building just a whole setup in Mexico. And then he went back, and then that was it.
Wow, that's crazy. That's totally crazy. And, that's probably like a more common story than what we know. People setting themselves up, living paradise back in their country of origin. But Americans, that's not really necessarily an option for us. I mean, we could go somewhere else, but we're not going back home. We're already home right here.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he told me all this, and like I said, he got papers, but he had a Social Security number and all that, and he paid taxes, which is kind of weird. He came illegally, but he was legal, but not, if that makes any sense.
Right.
But yeah, the whole plan. And he also got $500,000 worth of medical bills, paid for, his cancer cured and all that. And then the whole time he was just setting himself up in Mexico, and I guess he's just down there living the dream now.
Wow, that's something else.
But another quick story about when he was telling me how they came across. He said they came across this watermelon farm or something as they were sneaking through, and they could only find one watermelon. And one guy found the watermelon. He wouldn't share the watermelon with. There was 10 or 15 of them, and the guy just sat there and ate all the watermelon by himself and wouldn't share it. And the guy fell asleep, and where he had all the watermelon juice and stuff on him, the ants ate him and ate him alive.
Yeah, that's a bad way to go out, but that's kind of like instant karma, ain't it?
Right, yeah, he told me that story. I was like, wow, man. He said they lost a couple coming across the river and everything. I was like, wow. He was a cool guy, actually, but That's all I wanted to say, man. I kind of just wanted to call because it's been a couple of years, I guess.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Oh, by the way, I was the guy that made you laugh really hard that one time. You were talking about the EBT, and I was talking about how I worked at the dollar store at the time, and I would see people's buggies full of junk food, and they were like 5'3" and like 300 pounds, like my girlfriend or something. I don't know, man. Like you went almost out your chair. Like it was pretty funny. I'd never seen you laugh that hard, but I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that because you said a dollar store and the buggy. I remember that. I don't remember the exact thing you said, but that right there, I remember that very well.
Yeah. Well, anyways, man, I'm gonna get off here and let you finish up, I guess.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take it easy, man.
I do remember that, but I remember he was saying something about they were outside, but I don't remember the exact punchline, but the way he set it up right there, I remember that. Yep. So shout out to him and shout out to you guys as well. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. That'll be a wrap for me. I will be back live again. Same bat time, same bat channel on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you know I'm live on the Instagrams every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Shout out to you guys who were there last night. And it's growing. First, it was like, it might have been like 20 people. Then it's like, I think I hit like 45. It's like, okay, now we're growing. Let's get it to 100 and 200 and 1,000. And keep on growing over there on the Instagrams. Shout out to you guys over on the Facebook. The Facebook is jumping right now. Facebook and Instagram right now is jumping. And I tell guys, especially if you're trying to be a new person, you're trying to do any kind of content, you got to go over on Facebook, Instagram. Go to Meta. Meta, they trying to really challenge YouTube, and they might win on certain things. On some of the more intricate long-form content, the TV type long-form content, YouTube is still going to be the place. But for kind of what I do, Facebook might be an alternative that could overtake YouTube in a very short period of time. So we'll see. But yeah, shout out to the Facebook crew. Shout out to the Instagram people. Shout out to the TikTok people. I got some traction over there as well. I put the Umar video up. A lot of y'all didn't know about it, but over there, it did really well. It kind of took off. It's like 100,000 views. So shout out to the TikTokers. It's rough over there because you got so many soft people that are just no brain, instant, they got 2 second two second attention spans. So it's hard, but it's cool. And then Twitter, I'm over there as well. That's more of my research hub. And also where I'm just getting information over there. But I'm everywhere. Follow me everywhere. All my social media platforms are on the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description. Or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. I'm also on the Rumbles for the regular long-form YouTube content. Check me out. You can find me. I'm easy to find. Anthony Brian Logan. I am verified over on the Rumbles. And is that it? Is that all we got? I believe that's it. Do I have my super chats here? I think I got a few more. But before I read those, thank you guys for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to everybody that is, thank you to all the trolls who keeping the trolls. Thank you to all the mods. I messed it up. Thank you to all the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I really appreciate you for that. Y'all know I couldn't do the show without you. Alrighty. We got super chats on deck. I'll read these, then I'll wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Thank you to Bob KMIT who says, ABL, the guy that got burned, according to the news, was married. I mean, listen, marriage in 2025, it don't mean nothing. I ain't gonna hold you. Not in the West, it don't. These guys be super married and be doing all kind of stuff. They be married, messing around with boys. It's like whatever. Okay. He got a boyfriend and a girlfriend and don't nobody know what's going on. That's probably why. You want to leave your wife for me? I'll show you. If I can't have you, nobody can have you. That's kind of what that sounds like, right? Thank you to the Whites Man for gifting 10 ABL memberships. I appreciate you for that, boss. Thank you to Rick, who says, hi, ABL. I'm a longtime listener. How about you do a dual show with Officer Tatum? I seen back in the days when you did your last one, that'd be good. Everybody wants me to do those shows, but it's like, we don't have no time. I would love to do shows with B. Tatum and everybody, but we don't have no time. So that's just really it. Back in the day when we did the shows with Brandon Tatum and Jericho, all of them days, that was the pandemic days. Them days are gone. But those are my guys. They're all still good people. The only one I've not seen out of that crew is Derek Gradinigo. I've not seen him at all. He pretty much vanished. And I was at an event years ago, and then somebody came up to me and like sent a message. It said that he's okay. So hopefully, Derek, if you're listening, you still good, bro. But the rest of everybody else is too busy for that. Like I said before, and I said it a lot, I might as well just do it at this point. I need to just do something that's like that same type of vibe y'all want. That same type of energy that we had. I can maybe do that with a different crew. It's not going to be able to, it can't be Brandon Tatum and everybody else that already got so much going on. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, thank you, Sheree. Also, you guys subscribe to Uncle ABL. I got more lifestyle stuff on there. Please subscribe to Uncle ABL and subscribe to Uncle ABL on the YouTubes and also the Facebooks and the Instagrams. For sure. Alrighty. I think that will be a wrap for me. I will see you guys every day. Hey, not just Sundays too. Every day putting out my pre-recorded short form content, long form content. And then on the stream, I'll be back on Saturday on YouTube and the Instagram stream every Tuesday. Again, Instagram Tuesday, YouTube Wednesday, Saturday for the live streams. But that will be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out and peace.